Like tightrope, no talking, not that of a maestro. More like that lizard from Geico. When I lick, you go psycho. Downtown, I'm more famous than Michael. My game, I gave it to Tycho. Gene Simmons of my time, whoa. Got mind control, damn control. Up to your spine and back down to your toes. No true love, mama like
it's on me, baby, it's all on me, yeah.
Sexy models, champagne bottles.
The IP, VIP.
Got two models, need more models.
I wasn't open that mouth. Sure that she's talking and open that mouth. If it says something, we jumping it out. And then it's something it out. And then it's got and it's part of this something.
And now from an undisclosed location, you are now tuned in to the Xander Effect with host Xander Dames.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for
That was Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas, right here on the 100th episode of The Xander Effect. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Xander Dames, and I am so very, very happy and proud to be presenting you. Well, we are so very proud because I have my two wonderful co-hosts right here, Mr. Jeremy Miller. Jeremy, how you doing?
Doing amazingly well. I never thought I would miss talking to you, but I apparently did.
Very nice. And of course, we have the lovely Miss Lonnie Rivera. Lonnie, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here again with us.
Thanks for having me, fellas. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. And guys, it's the 100th episode. I'm so very, very proud. I can't believe I made it this far, to be honest with you. I mean, it's crazy because the idea that I came up with when I decided to create the Xander Effect was something very simple. You know, it had to do with just entertainment, sports, and video games, and it just organically grew into something more than that. I mean, we're going to be doing, we have a lot of stuff, wonderful stuff planned for you guys today. We have, of course, we have our top 10 countdown to the top 10 most listened to episodes of the Xander Effect. And Jeremy, you came in, your interview actually came in at number 3.
Not bad. I'll take that.
Not bad, right? Not bad. Actually, you know, the number 2 one was actually the episode 1, the very first episode that I did. That actually came in at number 2 it was crazy because I mean, I saw it, I was like, why? Like, there was no music, there was no background music, there was nothing.
I get it. You big, I small. I get it.
Yeah, but that's beside the point. Anyways, no, actually, you know what's funny? Because we actually came tied. We were neck and neck for that position. But since my episode came out first, I just, went into the number 2 because my episode came out before yours. So
hey, who was on the selection committee?
We won't talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. But anyways, but yeah, just so proud to be a part of a wonderful, group of people here. You know, we have my wonderful co-host, our wonderful executive producer, Mr. Quest Cross. You know, major shout out to Quest for definitely believing in this show. He's been an incredible person to have us back, to be backing this show. Good friend of mine, and he's just been fighting tooth and nail to make this show what it is. He brought us as well a lot of great artists that we interviewed. Not to mention the fact of the matter that he also brought us a wonderful promo team by Soul House. Soul House has been a great promo team. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen some of the videos that we post on social media. All those videos are because of Soul House. They're the ones that have created such beautiful graphics, beautiful videos, to go ahead and really capture the audience the way it's done. And I couldn't be more happier with the team that I have behind me, and of course, none of this is possible without all of you listeners out there, all of the fans that have been listening in on the Xander Effect, hearing my craziness before these two people came here and made the show even crazier. Like, you guys were listening to just me by myself talking like I'm a crazy man, talking to myself and everything, but that's normal for me anyway. But it's just been a wild ride, and I'm very, very, blessed to be doing this show. And also wanted to give a shout out to Carla from Wise Owl Media. She was actually the person that pushed me to do this show. Carla Escobar. She pushed me to do the show, and she was like, Xander, you have a degree in journalism. You have a degree in mass communications. Use it. She's like, use it for something. If you can't get work, if the job market is too competitive and you can't get anywhere, start something all your own and make it your own. Make yourself, brand yourself, get yourself out there. And because of those words, I was like, you know what? You got a point. You got a really good point. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. So, and it's funny because it started as a visual. as a visual show. You know, it was all video. It's all you could catch all the episodes on YouTube. Just go on the search and search for the Xander Effect, and you'll find all the episodes that I did on video. Actually, one of the first first report that we did, actually, Jeremy, the football report that we did, because you came in as a football correspondent at first, and the first episode of you being a football correspondent is on there, is on YouTube.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I mean, we have there's a lot of episodes on there that are really well. I mean, one of them included actually that didn't make the audio top 10, but as far as video concerned, that was the one that was the most watched on YouTube, was the very first interview with Amanda Hawley and myself at Urban Press Winery, where we sat down and we were at a wine cellar and I did the interview with Amanda. So that one got so many views, and that was the most viewed episode on YouTube. So, you know, I mean, just because she didn't make the top 10 for the audio, she definitely is number one as far as the video goes. So, and I mean, why shouldn't she be? She's freaking gorgeous. So, you know, I know nobody was watching it because of me. So, because of my, you know, ugly mug. So, I mean, it's, you know, again, it's been such a wonderful, wonderful trip, you know, through all this. And it's also our final episode for 2020, guys. This is the winter season finale of the Xander Effect until next year. I mean, you guys excited for 2021 already?
Yeah, I'm like so ready for 2021. Like, yeah, that's my
Lonnie's
Valley
going
Girl impersonation.
Totally.
By the way, I miss LA. I can't wait to come back and get my Valley Girl accent back on.
It's snowing over there. I saw that. You guys are being started.
I'm just like, but you know what is so beautiful though? You know what happened just a couple minutes ago, you guys? I got to give you this just to visualize it. I'm sitting second floor in my mom's apartment. We were in Philadelphia. Now we're back in Pittsburgh. And I was just looking over the neighbor's lawn across the street. There's about a foot of snow and all the trees are just covered with snow, like on the branches. So I'm talking to my cousin on the phone. I glance out at the window. I kid you not, 5 deer. All of them kind of like walking in coordination and formation as if like they were attached to a sleigh. Frolic over the fence and run up the hill. And I'm like, freaking Santa, Rudolph and Donner. It was like it was such a beautiful sight. So
just reminds me of Homer Simpson going, "Oh, a deer, a female deer." That's what comes to mind when you say that. That's really cool, though. I mean, you gotta love this season, this holiday season. I mean, after everything that all of us have been through in 2020, the entire world has gone through so much in 2020. It's good to see that, you know, people are trying to at least get that Christmas spirit out there and or that holiday spirit, I should say, you know, to be politically correct, holiday spirit out there that many people really desperately need right now, especially with the way things are going. I mean, it's been a rough year, and it's good to close out the year on a positive with holiday spirit, holiday cheer. You know, many people celebrating. It's good to go ahead and close it that way because that's just the way it should be. I mean, Jeremy, have you put up any Christmas decorations yet?
Christmas decorations. We just got our little tree out. We've been going plastic for a little while now.
So have I. Don't feel bad.
You know, it is what it is. But no, we got that out and don't really do much with lights and all the big stuff anymore. Once the kids kind of grew up and got out of the house, it kind of lost a little bit of its luster.
Aww.
Yeah, it does.
Well, you know, it's crazy because I mean, my dad, I put up my Christmas tree earlier this week, and for some reason, my dad is looking at it. He's like, I don't know why, but it just seems like you're really putting more of an effort this year than past years. You know, is it because you're starting to adapt to, you know, your mom not being around? And I said to him, I was like, you know what, I mean, it's always, you know, sad to have a loved one not be here for the holidays, obviously, but at the same time, it's just it's one of those things where I told him, I was like, it's not because of that. I personally don't feel that I've done anything special, anything bigger really, but it's one of those things where I'm like, you know what, it's just been a rough year for all of us. Why not go ahead and just put a little bit of cheer, for a little bit? I mean, it's not going to hurt anybody. I mean, go ahead and at least put a little cheer out there before the year is out. That's something that I wouldn't mind doing.
Let me throw something in on that. It seems, and the numbers are backing you up on this, the financial numbers so far for Christmas, although a lot of industries are being hit very hard, decorations and Christmas trees are being bought at record levels.
Yeah.
And A, you have more people staying home for the holidays, so more people are decorating. But B, I really believe it's what you were saying. People have had a hard year. People need some comfort. People need something that makes them feel good and gives them some hope, and maybe even makes them feel a little bit like a kid again,
Right.
Well, and that's what we all need. That's what we all need right now. Is just because we can't be with each other doesn't mean we have to be alone. That's just the way I feel. And I mean, I'm very blessed that I have, even though we get on each other's nerves a lot, I at least have my dad with me. And the thing is that he's again gets on my last nerves, but he's with me. I mean, Lonnie, you have your mom. Jeremy, you have your fiance, and I'm like, again, we're like, I was just telling my dad yesterday this too, that I'm very blessed. Man, I mean, it could be a lot worse. I mean, there's a lot of people a lot worse off right now. They don't have a lot of people don't have homes. They don't know what to get their kids for Christmas. It's been a tough year, I mean, financially for many people. There've been many losses, and it's just something that, I mean, at the very least, this holiday season can at least bring some sort of cheer. To many people, and that's what's important. That's what we need to really focus on, is the fact of the matter that we need to look at what we have rather than what we've lost, and be very thankful for what we have. So that's my 2 cents worth as far as that's concerned. But going back to the 100th episode, we have a lot of awesome things coming in. We have a lot of former people that I've interviewed, actually, that have been sending in congratulations. We're going to be playing some of those audios for you guys too. We have a lot of stuff in entertainment news, including going to talk a little bit about that Mandalorian season finale. Oh my God. And to be honest, it was a tearjerker, but it also left a lot of questions too that need to be answered. It's crazy. And in sports, Canelo Alvarez is very pissed off at Jake and Logan Paul, because it seems like they're disrespecting the sport of boxing. And I got to agree with him on that one. In video game news, we'll talk a little bit about Cyberpunk 2077 being pulled from all PlayStation stores due to some technical issues that they're having right now. Plus, I'll also go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a review of Cyberpunk 2077. But first, we start our top 10 countdown with the first 3 coming up next right now on the Xander Effect. This episode that I'm about to go ahead and play right now is the episode 77 that featured an interview with the hosts, 2 of the hosts actually, of Real Talk Real Women Live, and the men who served them, Mr. Bruno Campos and Miss Debbie Davenport. They talked a lot about their struggles and the things they went through. Very beautiful interviews, so go ahead and check that out.
T-5 and counting.
5, 4, 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Xander Effect
1
podcast. The Xander Effect Top 10 podcasts of this year. You dig? The Xander Effect Top 10 podcasts of this year. You dig? Show number 10.
If I
COVID, we were out in the streets, but no one was really being nice to each other. Nobody was really paying attention to each other. And then now we're forced to be in our homes. People are always complaining that they're bored, they got nothing to do, and they miss social contact. They miss, I miss social contact. I miss shaking people's hands. I miss giving a hug,
Right.
I miss hugging my sister. My sister she'll give me the elbow. And I'm like,
It's the simplest.
And I'm like, yeah, the littlest things that we always took for granted, they're gone. And I'm hoping that once this COVID things end, we learn to take care of the planet and we learn to take care of each other.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Like, I don't want my daughter to be a product of COVID. I don't want her to grow up thinking this is the norm, that it's normal to wear a mask and be trapped inside your house and not to touch anything and not to touch anybody. I don't want that for her. I want her to be able to go outside and be able to communicate with everybody without being worried about, don't talk to her or don't touch her. That's what I want.
I love that, Bruno. And I wanted to ask you that on Xander's amazing show, because I know how you feel about that. And that's another level of connectivity that you and I have. Like, what I'd like to see happen, and Bruno and I talk so much because, again, for all your amazing listeners, and thanks so much for tuning into the Xander Effect, guys. I know that Xander appreciates you. I know I do. I know Bruno does. Real Talk, Real Women Live, and the men who serve them. Make sure for anyone that's tuning in right now that you check us out. Go to Instagram, Real Talk, Real Women Live. Please check us out on Facebook, Real Talk, Real Women Live. And then also we're on every single Sunday on Facebook Live at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m.
You're getting a little out of me here.
I'm like, wait a minute. But at any rate, just check us out. But what I thought about with the pandemic and what I wanted to see happen was very similar to what Bruno said. And that's that we go back to loving one another, that we go back to caring for one another, that, you think about, you don't just step over the man that's outside and not check to see if you've got a bottle of water in your car and extra, stop and give it to somebody that might not have had any water in days. A lot of, in California, the homeless community is so large out there. Check on your family members. We know we have postal service issues right now. A lot of the elderly people are not getting their medicine. They're not getting their Social Security checks. A lot of them don't have direct deposit. We've got to step outside of ourselves. The only way, in my opinion, that we're going to get through this is that we've got to go back to just loving one another. Basics 101 love. Let's go back to loving one another. Let's check on one another. I too miss hug. My son's visiting and he's like, can I stay with you? I was like, I'll get you a hotel room.
Mama love you, but mama can't take no chances.
Wow. It's true though.
I was like, I just, because he's been traveling.
Either that or tell him, you know what, I'll get you a hotel room for about 14 days or so. Stay quarantined for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, no. Why do you need to come now, dude? No.
Show number 9.
I have one of the founders of World of Dance, David Gonzalez, here. How you doing, David?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Staying quarantined like the rest of the world.
I hear you.
So basically, like you are one of the founders of a huge show that is executive produced by Jennifer Lopez. Before we get into that, how did you get started in this? I mean, were you always into entertainment, dancing, things like that?
Yeah, no, I've been involved in live entertainment for 20 plus years. So I'm not foreign to the event business and concert business and now I guess television business.
Nice. So were you a dancer yourself?
No, never really been on the dancing side. I'm more on the biz development side of creating the brands. I used to actually do large car shows. At one point we were doing something called Hot Import Nights.
Oh, I remember Hot Import Nights.
Yeah, so that was a show that was traveling around the nation. And to be honest with you, the whole inspiration for World of Dance came from Hot Import Nights.
Really?
Primarily, it's the same kind of concept. You have car crews, you have car guys. They artistically display their cars, and people pay a registration fee, and then they display what their craft. And it's really the same model as a dance competition.
Wow, that is so amazing that it came from that. Like you just one day started seeing, a good combination of dancing and cruise and things like that, and you just came up with World of Dance from there.
Yeah, I think that one of the things I had learned in making sure when you're going to launch a brand, you want to make sure that the brand sounds larger than life from day one. So there was a lot of people that were talking to me about trying to, do something in dance. And I had actually gone to multiple dance competitions, different kinds of events, different scenes. And what I noticed is every community was sort of a community of their own. And no one was sort of bridging it together as one community. And that's really where the idea of world of dance came from. It's let's take these smaller dance niches like break dancing or urban choreography or, crumping, whatever they may have been at the time. Let's take these small, dance scenes, if you will, and let's put them under one banner, the world of dance.
Show number 8.
On the Xander Effect, I have B Taylor, and man, dude, this gentleman right here has done music with Flo Rida, Doe Brown. He is considered the Stevie Wonder of hip hop. What do you think of that? How you doing today, B Taylor?
Man, I'm good. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me, Xander. Thanks for having me.
Man, thank you for being on the show, man. And so first off, let me go ahead and say thank you very much. This gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, is a veteran, is a U.S. Navy veteran. Thank you so much for your service that you did for our country, man. Let me start off with that.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's a lot of great men and women that have sacrificed since the beginning, for our freedom. So I appreciate you thanking us. Thank you. Appreciate
No doubt. And in saying that, how in the world did you go from serving in the United States Navy to hip hop, to getting into hip hop, to getting in the music industry? I mean, like, you know how to play 4 different instruments: the piano, drums, guitar, and organ, which I'm going to ask about that one in a second, because that's a very unique instrument to know how to play. But how did you get into the music industry from the Navy?
Man, well, I always grew up, in church playing instruments. I'm a son of a preacher. My dad was the preacher. My mom was always over the youth, and I had grandparents, my grandfather was a pastor. So we've been musically inclined. And I grew up young, just playing instruments in the church. And so when I left, I played college football at the University of Missouri and decided to transfer and was trying to go through school and went to go get ROTC and got active duty for the Navy. I was just in the Navy, man. It was kind of a different, unique situation. So I kind of just, followed my pops and told me, hey, it's going to all work out. So when I joined, I was in boot camp over, 100 and some different guys from different backgrounds. They put me over the recruit division, and it was tough because for the first time, I was always a leader type and played sports, but this was different because you had guys from like really, really tough backgrounds and, tough, different,
Hey, everyone. This is Bruno Campos, and I'm inviting all of you to listen to my friend's podcast, The Xander Effect, as they celebrate their 100th episode. It's something you don't want to miss. It's a great podcast. I never miss it.
Hey guys, this is Ian Guerin. I want to congratulate my dear friends Xander Dames, Lonnie Rivera, and Jeremy Miller on 100 incredible episodes of The Xander Effect. Your show is fun, it's informative, and it's entertaining. And in my eyes, it's completely redefined the way podcasts are made and heard. Guys, I'm completely under the spell of The Xander Effect. So here's to the first 100 episodes of a show that I know will reach the highest of highs.
Hello, this is Beto from the band Lifeline, and calling on behalf of Tibbs, Pato, Gustavo, Ronnie King, and the whole Lifeline camp. We just want to say congratulations to Xander and the Xander Effect. Amazing job you guys have been doing. Congratulations on your 100th episode. We are very happy and blessed that you've allowed Lifeline to come on and also showcase our music. We are dropping our 4th studio album in 2021. And of course, we'll be bringing those brand new tracks for first time listening and debut on the Xander Effect. So again, congratulations to you and all your co-hosts. We look forward to working with you in the future. Go Lifeline and go Xander Effect, baby. Late.
It's Amanda Holly.
Hey, Jeremy Miller from Growing Pains here.
This is Maxim O'Reilly Sawyer.
And you're listening to
the Xander Effect.
This is a dirty bad boy. Nelly, Diddy, Murphy, Lee. This is history, baby. Come on now, and the band play it on. I see you, Kuda. Bad Boys 2, the soundtrack. Let's go. Yeah. Who your name is? Where you from? Turn around. Who you came with? Is that your ass or your mama half reindeer? I can't explain it, but damn, so glad you came here. I'm still a sucker for corn. You know I never changed that. Your body is bad, mama, but where your brains at? Still the same cat when I was younger, running with bad boys. But now I'm older, and solo running with bad boys. Here come another man, unlike no other man. Candy coated, switching every other lane. Y'all help me, won't you please help me? Eighth girl this week, and it's only Tuesday. I like the cocky, bow-legged ones, like Whyte and Dominicans, Hispanics and Asians. He shaking for Nelly, son. Manolos, no-nos, I can't tell everybody and they just when you do it well. Take it low, girl, come take it low. We can even do it slow. We can even do it slow. Take it where you wanna go. Either way you wanna go. Take that ass to the floor. Hop some, move some, shake your tail feather. Girl, come take it low. We can even do it slow. We can even do it slow. Either way you wanna go. Either way you wanna go. Take that ass to the floor. Hop some, move some, shake your tail. And real girls get down on the floor. On the floor. Now get that money, honey, act like you know. Like you know. Mama, I like how you dance, the way you fit in them pants into the flow. Take it low, girl, do it again. You know I love that. Now where them girls at? It's Diddy, Murphy, Lee, and Nelly. How you love that? Come on, we got another one player from New York to the dirty. How they loving it, play? Baby, you impressive. Let's get to know each other. You the best of the best. And you gotta love it in the dress. It's the sexiest. I had to tell her she's a young Janet Jackson, live and living color. Look at mama, you're dead wrong for having them pants on. Caprice cut low, so when you shake it, I see a thong. Our pockets full of dough, shaking feathers to the moon. And it's bad boy and Nelly, man, somebody better want him. Yeah, yeah. We can even do it slow. Where you wanna go, either way you wanna go. Take that ass to the floor. Hop some, move some, shake your tail feather. Girl, come on, take it low. We can even do it slow. We can even do it slow. Either way you wanna go, either way you wanna go. Take that ass to the floor. Hop some, move some, shake your tail feather. Oh no, I heard them bad boys coming. Can't stop now. Gotta continue my running, yeah. Cause we gon' party till the lights come on. And then my song stop, fuck it, cause my mic's still on. Yo, I'm the big booty type, I like them thick with they mind right. Banging personality, compensate when the time right. I'm not hard, I got women that handle that. They be like, he the man when I'm really a Thundercat. Come on, you know the tits connect like Voltron. Collect so much grass, Popo thinking we molons. My cohons don't match that, but it matches her hair wrap and the seats that I got in the lap. I'm just a juvenile, cause I be about G's. Keep the women wheezy, man, they say they have my babies. I'm young like Turk, I like that cash and that money. I'ma eat my money, man, I'm that damn hungry. I'm starving like Marvin, girl. Begging my pardon. I got 16 bars of fire, is what I'm starving. Plus my rats come in packs like Sammy and Dean Martin. And I got so many keys, you think I'm valet parking. Get it low, girl, come on, take it low. We can even do it slow. We can even do it slow. Either way you wanna go, either way you wanna go. Take that ass to the floor. Hop some, move some, shake your tail feather. Girl, come on, take it low. We can even do it slow. We can even do it slow. Either way you wanna go, either way you wanna go. Take that ass to the floor. Hop some, move some, shake your tail feather. Oh no, I heard them bad boys coming. Can't stop now. Gotta continue my running, yeah. Cause we gon' party till the lights come on. And then my song stop, fuck it, cause
up? It's Amanda Holly, and we're celebrating the 100th episode of the Xander Effect. Lots of love.
Take a stroll with me, down this road that we be walking on. Waited all year long for the season to come. It's a season of fun, it's a season of joy. With a smile on the face of every girl and every boy. Jack Frost over there, millions over here. With the pink fire truck reaching high up in the air. And there goes Rudolph with a whole bunch of elves. The parade jumping off with the flip of a baton. Hey, did you see the way the float just floated away? And did you see the way the train conductor just was bouncing away? Smiles on the faces of those wishing us such a wonderful day. Mickey Mouse float, Ninja Turtles dressed up. Cold temperatures outside, make sure you bundle up. Sesame Street walking along, and Batman saluting at you, looking so strong. Snow on the ground and there's frost in the air. Hot chocolate in the cup, reindeer antlers in the hair. Jingle bells on the radio, smiles on the strangers. Kids looking for Santa, baby Jesus in a manger. Snow on the ground and there's lights on the tree. Hot chocolate in the cup, feeling happy as can be. Here comes Santa Claus down Santa Claus Lane. So make sure there's milk, cookies, and carrots left out on the plate.
MERRYCHRISTMAS, Merry Christmas. So much joy and love this season. Man, I wish y'all the best Christmas. MERRYCHRISTMAS, Merry Christmas. So much joy and love this season. Man, I wish y'all the best Christmas.
Look, quick, there's Mario, Luigi, Bowser, and the princess, yo. Not to mention the beautiful dresses on them Disney princesses. And I'm feeling the temperature, it's feeling really cold. Good thing I got my gloves and hat, yo. But I still got a cold nose like Rudolph, bright red. Wait, there goes a hot rod, the flames rising high. I feel the warmth, oh my God. I'm thinking that I'm digging this Christmas spirit thing. I'm thinking that I even got a Christmas carol to sing. A couple of holiday cards needing to be sent out, not to mention a couple of t-shirts needed to be printed out. The kids grinning now as we count down the days. Christmas time, we can hear the music play. It's Christmas time, so spread love and cheer today. Christmas time, presents, snow and jingle bells. And it's Christmas time, from my family to yours. Be safe and be well. Snow on the ground and there's frost in the air. Hot chocolate in the cup, reindeer antlers in the hair. Jingle bells on the radio, smiles on the strangers. Kids looking for Santa, baby Jesus in a manger. Snow on the ground and there's lights on the tree. Hot chocolate in the cup, feeling happy as can be. Here comes Santa Claus down Santa Claus Lane. So make sure there's milk, cookies, and carrots left out on the plate.
MERRYCHRISTMAS, Merry Christmas. So much joy and love this season. Man, I wish y'all the best Christmas. MERRYCHRISTMAS, Merry Christmas. So much joy and love this season. Man, I wish y'all the best Christmas. MERRYCHRISTMAS, Merry Christmas. So much joy and love this season. Man, I wish y'all the best Christmas. MERRYCHRISTMAS, Merry Christmas. So much joy and love this season. Man, I wish y'all the best Christmas.
That was Twizm White Pieces, Merry Christmas, right here on the Xander Effect. In entertainment news, man, I gotta tell you, this is The Mandalorian, the season finale. Spoiler alert, just in case none of you ever watched the internet ever. And yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. Jeremy, I know you haven't seen it, so I'm gonna have to, sorry.
No worries. As I said, with any of these, mega worldwide sensations, there's really no way for me to avoid it completely. So don't worry about it. It always gets spoiled to some degree. It's my own fault for, waiting as long as I do to watch an entire thing. So
exactly, your own fault. You said it, not me.
I said it.
Anyways, no, man, The Mandalorian, again, spoiler alert. So if you don't want to, listen to this, just, fast forward ahead, because, you can do that on Spotify. But man, this episode had me in tears at the end. I mean, it was such an exciting episode, action-packed. I mean, Jon Favreau, he took this show and made it a sensation. The way he wrote it, the way he's directing it. I mean, this show is incredible. And I mean, at the end of it, basically, Little Yoda, because I refuse to call him by his real name. It just doesn't, the real name doesn't make any sense. For me, he'll always be Little Yoda. Little baby Yoda. Basically, he gets rescued by the Mando, and also the rest of the team that the Boba Fett came in to go ahead and serve as some cover fire as the team got in to go ahead and rescue little baby Yoda, and it was just the show definitely showed a lot of woman power, because the 4 women that were involved, it was 4 women and Mando. They came in to rescue, and they kicked ass. Like, those ladies definitely kicked ass in that episode. But what really stood out, and here's where the spoiler comes in, here's where the real craziness comes in. They went ahead and towards the end, they were being surrounded by dark troopers. These are like mechanical, like robot troopers, very freaky looking too. They kind of remind me of those robots from Battlestar Galactica. I think they're called what are they called? Jeremy, do you remember what they're called? They're called Cylons.
I know exactly what you're talking about, especially anybody who was, a kid in the 80s and went to Universal Studios on the tram. Yeah, those things were pretty freaky.
Yeah, well, they kind of look like Cylons. They made them, these dark robotic troopers, they look like Cylons, all black with red eyes. It was freaky. And they were unstoppable virtually. I mean, Mando had a tough time just stopping one of them. He was barely able to get out of there alive by stopping one of them. So he went ahead and defeated the leader of that ship, grabbed his saber, grabbed the dark saber. But here's the thing. One of the Mandalorians, the female Mandalorian, she wanted to go ahead and wanted to save him for last, because she wanted to defeat that character. His name escapes me right now. To go ahead and get the dark saber, because the one that wields the dark saber rules all of Mandalore. And Mando walks in with Baby Yoda and with his prisoner and the saber in the hand, and she's like, "You didn't kill him?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then he starts telling him, he's like, "You don't get it, Mando. The one that wields it rules Mandalore." And he's like, "Well, then here, take it. I don't care." And he's like, "You don't understand. The only person that could go ahead and have that has to defeat the other one in combat. They have to battle to the death for that saber. So she can't take it. If she took it just like that, she would just be a poser," he said. So now there's going to be another conflict, no doubt, for season 3 involving them. But again, we go back to the real spoiler. At the end of this, they get surrounded by these dark stormtroopers outside, when suddenly a Jedi shows up with a green lightsaber. And he starts laying waste to all these freaking robots, like nothing's stopping this person. He's just going bah, 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 killing all of them until he gets to the door, and Mando's like, "Open the door." And they're like, "Are you crazy?" He's like, "Just do it. Open the door." And he actually doesn't even wait for them to open. He opens the door for him, and in walks in this Jedi with a hood over his face, and he uncovers his face. It's Luke Skywalker, young. Wow. Luke Skywalker, mind you, which begs the question, how is Luke, first of all, how is he young? Because they did, I think they did like a digital character for him to make him look really young. And he walks in to collect Baby Yoda, little Baby Yoda. And he says, "Don't worry, he'll be safe with us, but he needs to be trained." But here's the question. Here's the big question that, again, it's something that doesn't make any sense. How is Luke still alive? How is he young? And what's the deal? Like, it's just so many questions that they didn't answer. He just grabbed little Baby Yoda, and this is the part where I started crying, is that Baby Yoda didn't want to leave. And Luke's like, "You need to give him permission. He's created a bond with you, Mando. You need to give him permission. Otherwise, he won't go." And so Mando just looks at the little baby. He's like, "You have to go, okay? This is where you belong." And he's like, "Don't worry, kid. I'll see you again someday." And it was just so sad. I was crying so much. I was like, no. And Mando takes off his helmet. He takes off his helmet because little baby Yoda wants to touch his cheek, and he actually takes off his helmet to reveal his face. This is the second time he's revealed his face actually in this season, so which is really cool. And you could see Mando's eyes just like welling up. He's like crying and everything. So they basically left it at that. Now, there was after the credits. There was something after the credits where Boba Fett goes to the Hutt's Jabba the Hutt's castle, and in Jabba the Hutt's castle is that albino-looking, like worm guy or whatever. He's got long worm-like tentacles over his head. He was in Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was the one that was translating for Luke to Jabba. Apparently, he took over after Jabba died. And he walks in, Boba Fett walks in and starts shooting all of them up. And he's like, Boba Fett, I didn't know you were alive, and I thought you were dead, and how you been? Boba Fett didn't want to have any of it. Shot him in the head, took over the freaking throne. And now at the end of the credits and everything, it said you could see Boba Fett just sitting at the throne, and it reads the Boba Fett novel, or novel of the Boba Fett or something like that. So looks like there's another spinoff in the works for next year, for 2021. And that's not the only thing. You have Disney is going bananas next year for 2021. We're talking, they have released so many new original series on Disney Plus. They have Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's going to be a standalone series. Anakin Skywalker is actually Hayden Christensen's actually making his reprisal as Anakin Skywalker in that series, from what rumors are suggesting. You have that Boba Fett series. You have a season 3 of The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian was just such a success that Disney couldn't say no. They had to say, we got to give it to them.
I have to take you back here for a second. Did you really just say that they're considering bringing Hayden Christensen back?
Yes.
Did you really just say that?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Maybe he got acting lessons.
Here's the thing. I don't know if you can salvage that whiny little biatch of a character. I told you when we talked about this the first time.
Yeah, I know.
That truthfully, I didn't hold it all against Hayden. I really didn't. They didn't give him much to work with. I mean, Lucas's script for that was the writing for his dialogue. I mean, they made him this whiny little wimp the entire time that just grated on your nerves. So, I mean, how is Hayden supposed to play that? So I can't put it all on him. But how do you revive that character? You literally made him nothing but a whiny little biatch for 2 straight films.
I mean, he did become kind of dark in the third one.
Even then, he was just, oh my God, I'm dark. Oh, damn, I killed people. Oh, wait. I mean, he was a whiny dark Jedi even. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, maybe they'll go ahead and ask him under a new direction. Maybe he might actually do something different, because I mean, I saw him. The only other movie I saw him was in Looper, and in Looper he kind of had the same character. Like, it's still the same whiny character, and I'm like, dude, could you do something else besides that? Like, I don't get it. Maybe
I would love to see him do awesome. Like I said, I don't hold it against him completely. What they gave him was that character. I don't know if he could have done much else different, but that's a hard one, man. People despise that character. I don't know how you create a spinoff around a character that was universally disliked by the fans.
True. We're gonna have to see what happens, how he's gonna reprise his role, how that's gonna happen, because I don't know if this happened. I don't know if this is like a prequel to what happened with them, or if this is like maybe it's just a flashback that Obi-Wan has about when he was training Anakin. So there's just so many questions, but I mean, definitely the actor that played Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anybody got his name?
Ewan McGregor.
Thank you. I'm horrible today. Horrible. Ewan McGregor. He's actually reprising his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi for this new standalone Disney Plus original series. So that should be really cool. I thought he did a great job as Obi-Wan, to be honest with you. So should be great to watch him do a standalone series on that. I mean, Lonnie, you've been kind of quiet over there. I mean, are you a Star Wars fan at all?
No.
You're not a Star Wars fan, huh? I knew it. I knew it.
I knew it was coming.
Oh my gosh! I'm like,
you're a bunch of nerds. All of you. You're all a bunch of nerds.
Okay, like maybe you guys will. This will give me some credibility or some love if I just tell you guys this. The closest that I've come to any kind of Star Wars anything was I did a story, which is really a heartwarming story, on a little kid in the Stanford University. They have their cancer research place for kids, Children's Hospital. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these kids had cancer or some kind of illness. And I want to say for Christmas or for the holidays, the entire Star Wars cast or just people dressed up in costume, everybody from Luke to name all the others. I'm sorry, I don't know all the characters. And they showed up to this one little boy's hospital room, who's a huge, actually, you know what it was? Well, now that I realize it, another little boy organized it to show up to, and he was dressed up in one of the characters, along with a cast of other people from Star Wars. And they showed up to their hospital room just to spread a little Christmas cheer for the kids who were in the hospital for various things in Stanford really Children's Hospital. Nice. So that's like the closest. And even when I was covering the story, it was so funny because I'm telling you this, my photographers, like you guys, he knew all the names and everything. So when I'm writing the script, because I didn't want the producers to know how ignorant I was about it, I had to go through everything and make sure. I'd be like, hey, is this his name? And does this go with this character, the dude that was dressed up? And he's like, yeah, I got you. But I'm not a Star Wars person. Sorry.
You're just too cool for school, Lonnie. That's the thing. She's just too cool for school, Jeremy.
And she's got to you got to start nerding out with us just a little bit.
A little bit. Come on now. Actually, start off small. Just watch episode 4. Just watch that one. A New Hope.
Episode 4? Okay.
Yep,
yeah, just watch episode.
One.
That's the original first one. Okay. That'll really, start getting you in there a little bit. I mean, everybody says that they should start with episode 1, but don't, because then you'll hate it automatically. Mm-hmm. So we'll go with episode 4 to start off, and then ease your way in there. Trust me, you'll like it, because the way George Lucas always described it is it's basically a family type of movie. It's father against son, brother against brother, type of movie. So I mean, that's pretty much, it's like a soap opera, but for for the stars, for the galaxy. It's a galaxy soap opera is the way he described it a long time ago in an interview. So it's something like that. I mean, it's a really, really cool movie. So definitely, Lonnie, nerd out a little bit. Come on.
I will nerd out. You know what I'm finding though? It's so funny. The same people, not to profile you guys, the same people who like Star Wars are the same people who are gamers, who are in their living room, through the weekend playing all the games you guys talk about.
Well, I got to say that is not too far off, given the generation we grew up in. We were the generation that, saw Star Wars in the theaters and was basically inundated with all this great sci-fi and all this stuff. And then you have this new gaming technology that comes along and starts putting you into that kind of fantasy world. It makes sense.
Right.
I still feel profiled.
Yep. But
I still feel profiled, damn it.
It's all love. There's no hate. Like I said, I think it's cool, but it's just not what I've been watching lately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. What have you been watching lately, Lonnie?
What I've been watching lately are feel-good movies to cheer me up. One of them was something I saw before. Did you guys ever watch this movie with Ali Wong? She's so cute and funny. Always Be My Maybe. It's a romantic comedy, so I've been watching a lot of rom-coms. I've been watching a lot of Christmas movies. Jingle Jangle super good on Netflix right now. It's like a Christmas feel-good musical. Believe it or not, Forrest Whitaker is one of the main characters, and he sings.
Oh, wow.
And he is amazing. The costume was wonderful. The entire cast, amazing. So a must see. So I've been watching a lot of family, Christmas, romantic comedy, feel good stuff.
See, my traditional movie that I love watching on Christmas Eve is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Like that's my movie. That's my go-to movie every Christmas Eve. That's my traditional movie to watch. I mean, it should be a Christmas Story, because I know, Jeremy, you got your friend that's in that movie and everything. But I don't know. I mean,
for me, A Christmas Story is a Christmas Day movie because of the fact that I believe out here in California, it's Channel 5.
Yeah.
Plays it all day long on Christmas
KTLA.
Day. I mean, literally just on repeat every 2 hours.
Yep.
So I will always associate it with Christmas Day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's definitely one of those Christmas Day movies, that's for sure. But yeah, I love Christmas Vacation. I mean, when that squirrel comes out, it's freaking hilarious. I love that scene. I mean, there's just so many scenes. That one, and with the freaking sleigh, with the pan or whatever that he puts like that extra strength special butter on it. He goes flying like warp speed, gone. Love that. Oh my God, such a great stuff. Anyways, getting back to more entertainment news. Eminem's having issues with Snoop Dogg. Well, I mean, if you could even call it that. I mean, we all know that Eminem, whenever he starts doing like whenever he starts beefs or anything like that, and he starts talking crap about people he's having beef with on an album, he goes hard. With Snoop, it was a little bit lighter, but it was still a jab at him, because Snoop, he feels a little bit like kind of upset that Snoop didn't include him in his top 10 best rappers or something like that. And Eminem actually called him on it in his latest album, Murder or Music to Be Murdered By Side B. And in that album, he's pretty much telling Snoop Dogg that he was like, dude, you were like a god to me. He's like, haha, no, not really. I was just spelling dog backwards. It was kind of a funny little jab at him. But my question is, because I mean, he feels in the lyrics, he also talks about how it's sad that his own camp, that basically his own team doesn't back him and doesn't really have his back or anything like that. And if we remember correctly, Dr. Dre's the one that discovered Eminem to begin with. And Dre and Snoop have a close-knit relationship because they pretty much practically started the rap game together.
Let's go back.
Well, NW and I know NWM. That's why I'm saying they practically started.
No, I don't mean it that way. I'm not trying to, but Dre basically discovered Snoop.
Yeah,
Dre is the one who brought Snoop to
Death Row,
Suge, and to Death Row, and produced his first album. He discovered Snoop as well. So personally, I think that's maybe why, Eminem kept his gloves on a little bit with this.
He has to.
Was a little. Well, it's not just that. There's a level of respect. I mean, you are a part of that. I say crew, but not in that way. You're a part of that same lineage, and these are guys who have helped produce your albums, who you've worked with. So whether you feel slighted or not, this is not your enemy.
You don't want them to be your enemy either.
Absolutely
because,
not.
I mean, it's one of those things where Dre would have to side with Snoop for the relationship they've had over the years. I mean, I would imagine Dre's a lot closer to Snoop than he is to Eminem. And he would have to side with Snoop on this one, because unless he wants to take a neutral route and just be like, I don't want to get in the middle of this. It's between you guys. But I mean, here's hoping that beef doesn't grow. I mean, truth be told, Snoop is already at that age where beefs to him are really, they're nothing. I mean,
hey, how old is Snoop?
He's in his mid 50s, I think.
Yeah, he's early to mid 50s, I believe.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I doubt Snoop wants to get into any type of beef with any rapper at this point in his life, because it's like, dude, why am I gonna get in on this? I mean, this isn't something that is gonna really go anywhere. Really, it doesn't do much for anybody's career, really. So who knows if he's actually going to say anything back about this. I mean, it was a light jab. It wasn't like it was like hardcore like Eminem style usually is. It was a really, really light jab to Snoop. And I mean, maybe he might have just another thing that Eminem also did do in one of the songs was apologize to Rihanna for a song that was released pretty much without him consenting to it or without his knowledge. And it was an accident to go ahead and release that song, and it has to do with him siding with Chris Brown. This is when the whole domestic abuse happened between Rihanna and Chris Brown a few years back, and it was a little late of an apology, but it was still there, and he did apologize to Rihanna in his song, saying that basically, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. That was on me. That was my fault, and I apologize. So, and that's rare for Eminem to apologize. Actually, that's really rare for him to actually say I'm sorry for a song that came out. So
maybe that shows his growth too.
Could be
in age and as a person.
It could be, because I mean, lately these past couple of years, from what I understand, it seems like Eminem has been mainly focused on political type of messages that he's been trying to get out for a long time, dealing with the current administration and everything. So it could be possible that there is growth there, that he's more concerned with real topics that affect people on a daily basis, and he's not so much focused on beefing with any other rappers right now, except for this little light issue that he has with Snoop, that he just feels disrespected. He feels disrespected that he's like, dude, man, I thought I had more love from you than that, and for you not even to include me, that's a little hurtful. That hurt my feelings a little bit. So who knows if that's going to actually go anywhere? But if it does, it begs the question: where is that going to leave Eminem? Where is that going to leave Snoop? Where is that going to leave Dr. Dre in the middle of all that? So, I mean, that's going to be something to really take a look at, to see what happens in the coming days, or will it just be completely ignored and people just move on? That could be another option. Who knows? But I mean, Lonnie, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I love beefs between rappers.
You love drama. What's the matter with you?
It just makes for good songs and good TV. So
you're like an instigator, Lonnie. You're like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And as far as Snoop goes, I just think he's so funny. I always love to see his reactions to stuff. So, okay, do you guys remember? Unfortunately, it's a sad story, and we're almost coming up on the anniversary of it. When Kobe, his plane crashed, and I remember when Gail, Oprah's bestie, or somebody was talking about Kobe's infidelity or something like that. Somebody brought up that story, and then Snoop went hard at it. And I want to say he called her. He was really disrespectful. I don't want to repeat it. Yeah, I don't want to repeat it, but he called her like a really bad name. And then after that, because you know how social media works, everybody jumped on the bandwagon, and she's getting all these nasty messages, right?
Yeah, because of the way Snoop put it, it was almost like a threat, a threat towards her.
Yeah, it really was. He went hood, but you got to remember, Snoop is from the hood.
That's why when he started talking and he started going off like that, I was like, somebody give her bodyguards quick. Right. And so then, after that happened, I remember seeing him coming on Red Table Talk. That just seems to be the show where everybody either confesses or they say they're sorry. And he came on that show with Jada Pinkett and her mom and daughter, and said, and it was so funny because they brought him in, and they all of them were like, Uncle Snoop in the house. And he comes over and sits down. And what I love is halfway through the interview, which just shows his humility, he actually apologized. Apologized by getting caught up in the heat of the moment.
In the heat of the moment, exactly, Xander. And then he actually posted reposted something again on his, either it was the Instagram or Twitter, one of the social media outlets, and apologized to Gayle, for it. But saying that, he went too far. He should have been more responsible in what he said. So I think I'm saying all this to say that the Snoop today is cool and is funny and as pot smoking as he is, and he's a Steelers fan. So I cut him some slack for that reason oftentimes. But I think the Snoop today is the kind of Snoop is an older Snoop. He's Grandpa Snoop.
Yeah.
And I think, that he's careful. He's at least going to try to be more careful with his words. So whatever he does, I would like to think he'll be more careful with his words. He'll be more careful. So
He has to, because people in his position, they have power in their words. Like one call out or one call to arms from Snoop, and it will happen. I mean, that's how powerful his words are to the ears of many people. And it's one of those things where, he like you said, he realizes the power of his words, and he's more careful. He has more tact with what he says, because he doesn't want to incite any type of hate towards one person, or any type of malicious intent or crime or anything like that towards the person that he's talking to, because he might be implicated on something like that too, by them saying, well, you called it on this person. And it happened because you said it. Your words meant something. So, he's definitely changed a lot. And but again, we'll have to see what happens with this whole light beef that's going on between him and Eminem, and see where that goes. But in other entertainment news, this goes towards a former co-star of yours, Jeremy, and a friend of yours, actually. Kirk Cameron's on the news lately, because he actually decided to have a gathering, maskless gathering, mind you, and he went ahead and said, quote, "It's part town hall meeting, part worship service. If you love God, if you love Christmas, and you love liberty, you're not going to want to miss this." And this is an event that he's a Christian event that he's trying to go ahead and throw in Thousand Oaks. But the problem here is that he summoned so many hundreds of maskless people that came out and did Christmas carols and things like that. And it's not the best time right now to do that. And he's been getting a lot of flack for it, because it's irresponsible, especially with the numbers like going crazy here in Southern California. Los Angeles alone, they're saying that ICU beds are at 0 right now. And it's getting really bad out here. He goes ahead and does something like this. This is hugely irresponsible right now in this time that we're doing. So, I mean, Jeremy, he's your friend. I mean, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Oh,
because I know you're very passionate about being about safety protocols. I mean, you have immunocompromised family members that live with you. So, I mean, coming from that portion, I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
You know me, I'm never going to pull any punches, and friend or not, I'm going to say what I think, and I couldn't be more disappointed in him, truthfully. It was really, Kirk and I have always understood each other. I have a great respect for him normally. We disagree on a lot of issues, but I've always had a lot of respect for the way he lives his life and who he is. This is extremely irresponsible, in my opinion. I have a very big problem with it, especially with people dying left and right. His statement that he made to the press, which came out on multiple news sources today, basically talked about, and I understand this part of it. Every bit of this part is true. He was talking about how suicides are up, addiction relapses up, mental health problems are going up, we're losing people to this and that because of businesses failing and homeless, and that's all absolutely 100% true. I get it. And the idea of doing something to bring people some hope and uplift their spirits is a wonderful idea. Horrible, horrible execution, in my opinion. The fact is, as Xander said, we're at 0 bed space in Southern California. It's not just Los Angeles, it's Southern California. That means San Diego too. You're talking about two of the biggest metropolises in the United States. 0 bed space. That means if you get hit by a car tomorrow, there's no ICU or emergency doctor to work on you.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah,
that's what that means. If
That's
your grandfather has a heart attack tomorrow, there is no emergency doctors to work on him.
Yep.
That is what all of that means. To me, it is incredibly irresponsible whether your motives are good or not. It is a insanely selfish and irresponsible thing to do. You could still go out caroling and social distance and wear masks and do things like this to protect people.
Yep.
This is a statement because they have political views about their freedom. To me, that's an entitled attitude.
Yep.
And you are risking people's lives because you feel your needs and freedoms are more important. That is unacceptable. I'm horribly disappointed in my friend, and I don't know what else to say.
Preach, 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 preach. Jeremy, I second everything you said. And I feel like that attitude has just been the attitude that's been going on. It's funny, I've seen a lot of people, just personal stories from people who got COVID themselves, who had that attitude and changed their tune after they found themselves in the hospital. What's unfortunate is something like that hardly sometimes ever strikes home until someone is personally affected deeply by it, which is so selfish.
And it's the truth. And it's the truth because, I mean, it's a difficult situation because, I mean, at the same time, you also have, there's certain groups of people, certain class that have better medical better medicine, better doctor care, and better this, that, and the other. But the majority don't. They have to go ahead and rely on doctors that are being stretched super thin right now, and that's not fair to them. It's not fair to the people that actually that don't have the luxury of a personal, of a private practice doctor or anything like that at their beck and call to go ahead and provide for them the best care. That's another issue as well. And for him, again, Jeremy, I want to echo what you said. That's incredibly irresponsible for him to go ahead and do something like that. I mean, there are people that are dying left and right for that same type of attitude and irresponsibility that Kirk went ahead and showed. And like you said, again, I'm echoing the same thing you said, Jeremy. You can still go caroling. You can still have somewhat of a group affair, but safely, with safety measures in place. We're talking, 6 feet separate. We're talking wearing your masks. That's not a violation of any type of civil liberty whatsoever. Wearing a mask? That's what? That's vanity, in my opinion. People that don't want to wear masks are vain. They want, really? You want to go ahead?
I'm going to take it a step further, Xander. People who don't want to wear masks are cray-cray. How about that? They're cray-cray.
True. I mean, it's not that difficult to go ahead and put something over your mouth. It's not going to kill you. It's going to save you, if anything. What's the big deal with putting a mask over your face? What?
It's sheer entitlement. It is. I'm sorry. We are the most entitled nation on the planet. Plain and simple. We've been taught that our feelings are more important than anybody else's.
Vanity is more important.
Unfortunately, I honestly don't believe that vanity is the biggest problem. I think it is for some people, but I really believe this entitled attitude, this you can't take my rights, this my rights are more important than anybody else's. This is a very prominent and prevalent attitude in our country. It's a very large problem, and it is one of the reasons why most of the rest of the world is laughing their asses off at us right now and cannot figure out how we can be so stupid.
Here's the other thing. I'm going to go ahead and add on to this little topic here. What's going to happen if, God forbid, some of those people that came out get infected? is Kirk going to take responsibility for his actions? Is he going to actually say, my fault, sorry? Sorry's not going to go ahead and fix a loved one's death. It's not going to bring him back. So sorry's not going to cut it. And it's man, I mean, it's tough for me to actually know about this story. I know it's even tougher for you, Jeremy, because he's a friend of yours, and you worked with the guy. He's practically like he became your older brother, not just on the show, but in life as well. I mean, I can only imagine how it's eating away at you at this point.
I can tell you right now, I will always love Kirk. He is my brother. You know, that's the facts. He's always been there for me. I mean, I've told you before, at my hardest times when me and the family were, you know, on the streets, when Joni and I were living in our car right after the 2008 crash, and I lost my business and everything else, Kirk was one of the few people who stepped up and tried to help me get work and really was there for me. I can never repay how much he's been there for me in my life. I will always love him. But this really saddens me. And I just, like I said, I'm not angry. I'm not anything else. I'm really disappointed.
Well,
I get why. I get the behind it. But again, it could have been done. You could still uplift people's spirits. Wearing a mask, social distancing, being responsible for the well-being of others. To me, that's a Christian value that needs to be, you know, thought about a little bit more rather than our rights.
It's yeah. I mean, it's disappointing to see. I mean, I know that you're disappointed, but I'll go ahead and be angry for you. How about that? Because this just irritates me seeing this. This just really upsets me. So
I understand.
You know, let's hope that the people that attended this event are okay. Let's hope that that none of them were asymptomatic. None of them had the virus. Let's just, you know.
The unfortunate thing, and I hate to add this to it, but I can't leave it out, and I'm not going to ignore it, is in his statement to the press today. He basically said he's going to continue organizing these throughout the Christmas season, and that there are people from all over who are wanting to come, and you know, it's a nightmare scenario. And he's literally helping promote what can be super spreader events in the time of a pandemic. So this is unfortunately does not appear to be a one-time thing. He seems to be pretty resolute in trying to keep this going, and I'm blown away.
So he's going to be pretty much responsible for infections.
Well, I don't see how it can, how it can go any other way. Yeah. I mean, if you're having people unmasked in large groups over and over and over, there's almost no way in the middle of all of this that people are not going to suffer from this.
Well, here's hoping that these new vaccines that are coming out actually go ahead and level out some of this rebellious attitude that most of these people are having against masks and everything. So here's hoping that many of those people, if they start congregating, they've gotten the vaccine, and hopefully that'll be something that'll lessen the storm a bit. But that's also a long shot, because we're still a long ways away from a lot of people getting vaccinated, and it's a slow process. So chances are people are still going to be coming to these events in large groups, and unfortunately, again, God forbid, but more than likely there are going to be people infected with the virus, if they keep on doing this. So here's hoping that that doesn't happen. But again, that hope is a long shot. We'll see what happens. Coming up next, we continue our top 10 countdown, and we have the next top 10 going in at number 7, episode 65, with UFC ring girl Ariane Celeste, right here on the Xander Effect.
The Xander Effect Top 10 Podcasts of this year. You dig? Show number 7.
I've been watching UFC, Jesus, since it was banned in like 49 states. And it's been a long time, and I remember that Rochelle Leah, she was the original ring girl, and then shortly after she left the organization, you took over and now you're pretty much head honcho, ring girl of the UFC.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while. I guess I am the head honcho, huh? Thank you for saying that, but yeah, it's been one hell of a ride, a great, fun roller coaster, just watching the company grow and being a part of it, and pretty much getting, like, I would say $1 million publicity for free by working for them. So it's been so amazing, such a blessing.
Not to mention you get front row seats to like historical, fights. Like there's been a lot of fights that, people are like, oh my God, I can't believe that's happening, and you're like right there front row watching the whole thing happen.
Yeah, that too, definitely. It's an amazing sport. It's my favorite sport, obviously. And I've grown into such a big fan of it now. Where before, like when I first started, I didn't really know much about MMA, so I didn't understand just the beauty and the hard work and the dedication that these athletes really put in. But obviously after like watching for so long and starting to do like boxing and Muay Thai myself, I have so much respect for them.
No, that's awesome. Well, let's
show number six.
It's her, but there's so many people that are going on that have this issue going on right now with COVID-19 that a lot of people are not wearing masks, and this is a stress that's not only happening with her but with so many
people. And the truth is, anybody who has a family member who is immunologically compromised, you're already worried about this. I have three people in my house, my mother and stepfather, as well as my fiance, who are all immunologically compromised. So guess what? We have to be very fastidious and very careful. And thankfully, in California, people have been a little better about wearing their masks. Not great,
not much,
but better. And, it is what it is. But we are extra fastidious about it because of who I have here in the house. We have to be careful. My stepfather has full COPD and less than 40% lung function. If this hits him, he's gone. There's it's over. He will not make it.
Show number 5.
Here right now, Lexi Pride, music's best kept secret, and she's just an amazing artist. That song is awesome, and it's just awesome to have you on the Xander Effect. Lexi, how you doing?
Hello, Xander. How are you? I'm doing well.
Another day in paradise, just trying to go ahead and make stuff happen as much as possible. So it's freaking hot over here. I know you're in the East Coast, right?
I am. I'm in New York City.
Man, how's that going for you over there with it being locked down? It must be driving you crazy right now.
It's not too bad being an artist. I think it gives us all a chance to be creative and really just focus on reinventing whatever it is you're going through in life, or, getting organized. So I've just been trying to keep my mind busy, and it's not too bad. So
nice. Nice. Well, I want to go ahead and ask because, the last time I met you was a while back and it was at a party, and I didn't really get a chance to chat with you, but now we're on here, so I'm going to be able to chat with you galore, because I always wondered, how did you get started in music?
Well, when I moved to New York, I moved originally here for modeling. So that was kind of my focus. But then once I kind of got into the nightlife, I was just meeting amazing people in the music industry, and developed some opportunities and took them serious and became focused, and one thing led to another. So now we're here.
Hey. So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me. So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me. I'm looking for a girl like me.
Hey, I want
want a girl like Shakira. Esa latina está rica. I wanna find me a chica que sepa vivir y que viva la vida. Anita bien bonita, elegante señorita. Girl, I want you and I need ya all of my life, yeah, baby, let's team up. I want a girl that shine like glitter, a girl that don't need no filter. The real, for real. A girl that's a natural killer. I want a girl that's a heater, hot, caliente off the meter. Yo quiero una chica que no me diga mentiras.
So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me. So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me. You're looking for a girl like me.
Oye mami, estoy buscando una chica, sí. Oye mami, estoy buscando una chica, sí.
You're looking for a girl like me. Me llevas en tu mente. Soy adictiva como el azúcar. Me buscas permanentemente. No ves que solo quiero jugar.
Latinas, 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 Latinas. Sacudelo como Shocky. Baby, drop it low on top me. Electric feels so shock me. Your hips don't lie, they rock me. Baby, come get me, you got me. Oye, mami, ven aquí. You know I'm liking what I see. Muévelo, muévelo, muévelo así. Yo quiero una mujer, una princesa, no tiene poderes. A chick with no boundaries, that's down for what if. When nothing in la cama, she good in the bed. A girl that be using her head to use the cabeza the best. I want a girl who's a diva. No quiero otra, así eso es.
So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me. So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me. You're looking for a girl like me. When a girl that shines like glitter, baby, you know I need no filter. For real, I'm real. You know I'm real. Like that my lips are so glossy. Like it when I get so bossy. Baby, if you do it my way, just for the hell of it, I let you love me.
Latinas, Latinas, Shakira, Shakira.
I like Latinas, ones who look like Selena. Shake a bunda like Anita, morenas, that's más fina. I like Dominicanas, Boricuas and Colombianas. In East LA, I like the Chicanas, and they want a piece of the big manzana.
So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me.
Oye mami, estoy buscando una chica, sí.
You're looking for a girl like me. Me llevas en tu mente. Soy adictiva como el azúcar. Me buscas permanentemente. No ves que solo quiero jugar.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ariane Celeste.
This is Larry Neymar, the founder of E! Entertainment Television.
Hi, this is Maricela Cornejo.
Hey, how's it going? This is Polo Molina.
Hey, yo, what's up? This is the Xander Effect, and I am the DJ KID, the Chicken Creek.
And we're listening to Xander Dames' 100th episode.
Like Santa, pull up in a rose or Stena, staying like I'm Santa, fucking on a bitch in a scanner. I ain't got no manners, put you on Prenta, yeah. Listen like I'm blitzing, main bitch fixing, call me Cupid, Donna blitzing, give me snow glow, I'm a snow bay, I get presents every day. Ho ho ho, I got hoes down the chimney, there they go, 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 go. Ho ho ho, I got hoes down the chimney, there they go. Cookies all night. Doesn't matter if you're naughty or nice. I ain't slept in like 4 days. Delivering presents faster than the freeways. I'm the new Santa Claus, giving you cars. Ain't taking no loss, cause I'm the boss. Bitch, 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 I'm Santa Claus. Ho, 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 I got hoes down the chimney. There they go. Go, go, go. Ho, 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 I got hoes down the chimney. There they go.
Was AB Lil Miss Santa right here on the Xander Effect. We continue on with this wonderful 100th episode of the Xander Effect. I still can't believe it's 100 episode, guys. I really don't. That's just, I mean, 100 episodes of listening to me, Jeremy.
I'm honestly, I don't know how anybody's done it.
I was waiting for that. I so gave you that one. I was like, come on.
I know. That was beautiful. You put it up on the T for me.
I had to, you know, I mean, because I know you love talking shit. So, you know, there you go. And another topic that's nearest and dearest to our hearts is sports, obviously. And but we're not going to be talking about football. No, because obviously fantasy football is already done and over with. We all know that. At least that's what I'm thinking. I'm assuming it is, because, you know, we haven't been in a fantasy football team. I'm not going to go there. Anyways,
don't start.
I'm not going to start. But we do have other sports news to talk about, including Canelo Alvarez basically not too happy with Jake and Logan Paul's disrespect of the sport of boxing. Now, these guys have really made kind of a mockery with everything that's going on. I mean, Logan Paul is basically calling out Conor McGregor. I'm sorry, Jake Paul is actually calling out Conor McGregor. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? Relax, buddy. I mean, even Dana Whyte is like, dude, I'll go ahead and put in Amanda Nunes to go ahead and fight you. How about that? You know, I mean, Nate Diaz went off on him as well, basically saying, dude, you know what? I mean, you want to really disrespect. I mean, he actually had Conor McGregor's back. Like, I was shocked. I was like, wow, there's definitely a level of mutual respect between Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor. There's definitely mutual respect for him to have his back like that, and basically calling out Paul and saying, dude, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and come after me with that? You know, with that mouth of yours. You keep on talking that, someone's gonna like see you on the streets. They're gonna beat the crap out of you. So I mean, Nate was not happy at how Paul was calling out McGregor, basically saying that his talking smack about Conor McGregor's wife. You don't do that. You don't go there. I mean, there's a line you don't cross, and I think the Paul brothers, they need to learn what line not to cross, and that's one of them. So I mean, right now, Canelo Alvarez went on TMZ and talked a little bit about how these guys are pretty much just looking for, it's all about the money. It's all about a payday for these guys. And they actually asked Canelo if he would be down for a quick payday, and he responded with no, with quote, "No, I truly believe that it's a lack of respect. It's all based on money. It's all for money. I'm focused right now on other projects. I have other stuff going on, and I would invite him for a sparring session so that he truly knows what it's all about." I can agree with that. I would love to see a little sparring session, a free little sparring session match between Canelo and Logan. I'm sorry, and Jake. I keep on getting the guys mixed up. And Jake. I mean, that would be something awesome to see. What do you think, Jeremy?
I would love to see either one of them get, thrown around the ring for quite a while. They're both rather obnoxious and loudmouthed and ridiculously entitled. And honestly, I wish I was 15 years younger, because I'd honestly step in the ring with either one of them and would have a lot of fun. But these guys, I really don't think they believe that they can beat these guys. They know YouTube and their game is all about the spectacle and the show and the drama and all this BS. But what they need to realize is the people they're screwing with fight for a living. Yeah. Okay, these guys risk their lives every single day fighting for a living. Yep. 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, training every single day. You're going to try and step in with the best? I mean, they were just talking about Floyd Mayweather said he'd fight him in a heartbeat right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's actually going to happen. That's actually going to happen between him and Logan.
It looked like it might. And I guarantee you, unless Mayweather just decides, he's going to toy with him for a while, it won't last 2 rounds. Mm-hmm. Now, given Mayweather's a showman, he'll probably drag it out, screw with him, so on and so forth. But neither one of these guys could last 2 rounds with these fighters. And I'll take it a step further. Both of these guys couldn't last 2 rounds with any second tier or third tier professional. Hands down.
True. I mean, you also got to look at it this way. He's calling out Conor McGregor. Conor started out in boxing to begin with. He didn't start out in MMA. He started in boxing. And so Conor knows his stuff. I mean, granted, we didn't see much, between him and Mayweather, but that's because I'm assuming because Conor's more used to the MMA game now than boxing. But Conor's been training back up to do another rematch against Mayweather, or actually to do something against Manny Pacquiao, something like that. There were rumors about that, and he's been preparing for boxing. He's been retraining in boxing again, and it's not that difficult. It's like riding a bike. You just get right back on it, and you start start getting your steps back. But it's crazy because that last fight that I saw between Paul and the NBA player, that was a train wreck to watch, to be honest with you. They weren't the way they were fighting. Their stance was off. They were kind of off balance. They weren't moving around like boxers usually do. They were kind of like walking, and then when they did end up hitting each other, it was one of those fights that you would see on the street. Just like hitting wild punches. It was just all wild punches towards one another. No technique whatsoever. And it's like, if this is what your fights are usually like, you could easily get knocked out by a professional that can actually see a wild punch coming a mile away, sway out of the way, and then bop, you're down for the count. Knockout. It's over. It's that quick. And these guys know about that. So it's one of those things where it's like, dude, you really, really got to be careful what you say, because, well, I mean, like you said, Jeremy, it could be just a way to go ahead and have a payday for these guys, just to go ahead and create a hype. But that hype might end up becoming more personal than anything, and they could get hurt. Really, really badly hurt in the ring.
Really, really easily. I mean, let me give you, I mean, personally, and this is just me. I, as you know, I was a little bit of a hothead when I was younger. And
get out of here.
If one of these guys, no background in this, hasn't been training for years, wants to come in and start talking smack to me, and this is something I did and I took very seriously, I would have tortured him in the ring. I would have literally dragged it out as long as I could. I wouldn't even throw a punch to the face except for feints and fakes and this and that. I'd break every rib they had. I'd be going to the body, digging hard. I mean, these guys know how to do that. These guys drop you with one properly body shot, one properly placed body shot to the liver or the kidney. You're on the floor and your legs don't work anymore.
Kidney shots are the most popular ones, actually.
They're the most popular, but not the most effective, man. If you can do a liver shot, it literally paralyzes your legs. These guys drop like they were shot with a gun, and they can't get up because their legs don't work anymore.
Yeah, my dad got hit in the liver. My dad, when he was younger.
One of the most devastating punches there is. Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, and Inoue, I think his name is, that the Asian champion.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about,
goes to the body like a tank. I think he's only like 130-something pounds. He's a flyweight or a featherweight. Guy could take down a 250-pound guy with one of those body shots. And truthfully, if these guys keep pissing off these pros, somebody's going to get them in the ring and torture them.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to get them in there, and they're going to sit there and pound on them, but they're not going to knock them out. They're going to torture them, and these guys can get hurt.
And that's the thing, is that many people don't understand. Getting punched in the face, you run the risk of getting knocked out, but you could easily defend the face. You could, but the body, there's just so many areas of the body you can't defend. The face is smaller, so you're able to defend the face a lot better. But the body, you're just so wide, and there's so many areas of the body you could go ahead and punch. And even if you defend it, it's still going to hurt. It's still going to get you. Again, my dad used to practice boxing when he was younger, in his younger days, and he got punched in the liver really hard to the point that he was in the hospital for a month.
Oh, geez.
Recovering from that. It was bad. I mean, blood was coming out. I mean, it was really bad. He almost died from a liver shot. I mean, that's what these guys don't understand, is that's how dangerous that could be. One shot, you're screwed. You're done. Yeah. I mean, and these guys need to understand that they've only boxed a couple of times. And they boxed against people that are not professional boxers. You got these guys that, like you said, Jeremy, have been practicing this sport for years, since they were kids, practically, since they were I think in preschool, they've been practicing this type of sport. And they know how to fight. They know how to both street fight. They know how to professionally fight. They know how to do it. You don't want to irritate these guys. I mean, you don't want to go there. But hell, if they do, it'll be fun to watch. To be honest, it'll be fun to see them get their asses handed to them, because it'll be lesson learned. Don't mess with them. Don't do that. Don't go there. Please don't go there, because it's all bad news. I mean, Lonnie, what are your thoughts?
Oh man,
not a boxing fan, aren't you? It just goes completely blank on you, doesn't it? Lonnie, you're killing me, Smalls.
Today I'm speaking for I'm like the stereotypical. My head isn't thinking about
Valley girl. Oh my god!
I'm thinking about fashion. And actually just thinking about what I was gonna send my brother for Christmas, and is it gonna get to him in time?
You're sitting there, and your head has that little monkey with the cymbals going.
Yeah. I guess all I have to say about the boxing thing is, I was a big fan growing up of Sugar Ray Leonard. And probably one of the reasons why I liked him, because I thought he was handsome, and I thought it was kind of cool that he could be in so many fights, because he was pretty fast, right, you guys? And be in so many of these fights, and yet, other than I know he had an issue with a detached retina, and that's what kept him from fighting again. Because I think they said that the second time, if it happened again, it could be serious and affect his vision. That I do remember. And so, I don't know, when I just think of anybody taking a chance in the ring, like what you guys are talking about, at an older age or, you know, young or whatever, man, boxing is just a risk in and of itself. It's just not a sport where you're trying to like preserve your health long term, whether it be aesthetically or just body wise, or even with your brain, because as we know, over time, you take so many hits later on in life, it's going to have an impact on you. And so that's what I think about. Sorry, I'm not sure that I answered the question, but that's...
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, you kind of did, because I mean, these guys, the Paul brothers, are taking this crap talking very lightly, and they haven't really been hurt. Like really been hurt, because the boxers that they've been going up against have been kind of squash matches for them. It's just a payday for them. They haven't really gone up against a real challenge. And when you get up to that real challenge, that's when you run the risk of what you just said, getting really badly injured. So these guys don't know about that yet, but the more crap they're talking, they're gonna know. They're gonna know, and they're gonna know the hard way.
I mean, Muhammad Ali, the champ, you know? That is his situation in and of itself. I don't know. I mean, if I were a mom, that would be the thing that I'd be worried about my boy, you know? If he were interested in boxing or even playing football, which we've talked about before. Like, I love football. I love watching football, but boy, is it a brutal sport.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I don't know. We'll go ahead and see what happens if one of these Paul brothers decides to go ahead and go in a sparring match against one of the best in the business today, which is Canelo Alvarez. So we'll see what happens with that. In other sports news, the WWE is getting pressure by USA Network. Apparently, the Monday Night Raw has been getting low ratings for a while now. And the USA Network is furious with WWE because of that. Right now, it seems that a source with WWE told Talk Sport that basically, quote, USA Network are furious. They want more adult content, not sexy adult, but dark and violent adult. Now, I go back to the Attitude Era. One of the best eras in WWE history. I mean, we're talking D-Generation X. We're talking Austin 316. We're talking The Rock. We're talking like an era where it was a violent sport. I mean, you got Mick Foley, Mankind. You know, you had it was just so awesome, that era, because the drama was really awesome. The wrestling matches were hardcore. You're talking about blood. You're talking about going through tables, it was just a great era. And for a long time, many people were saying, we want the Attitude Era back. But at the time, there were rumors that Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon's daughter, had taken over, and Vince McMahon kind of took a step back for a little bit. I mean, he was still lurking around and still had final decisions, but Stephanie McMahon took a step in at a certain point and started taking over. And because there was rumors saying that because she was a mom now and she had daughters, they wanted to show a better example towards a younger generation. But that kind of left the older generation that got used to, the smash mouth, crap talking, type of era. That brought them out. That put them out. And that didn't make a lot of people. That made a lot of people very upset, me included. I was like, wait a minute, I love the Attitude Era. Why'd you go PG suddenly? I mean, that's not something people want to watch. And so it looks like that's starting to actually affect the WWE right now as far as ratings go, because many people are not watching. I mean, think about it. Yes, I get it that the consumers are mostly children that buy the dolls and everything, but the people that watch late night television are mostly adults. Kids are in bed or should be in bed by 8 p.m. So, and this Monday Night Raw usually starts, on the West Coast, it usually starts at around 8 p.m. So yeah, there's got to be some sort of changes going on over there, because right now, USA Network's not too happy about that. And Jeremy, you're a wrestling fan. I mean, would you agree with that?
I think I would agree with it in that with all of the competition for attention, all the different options people have, they need that drama and that extra push that the Attitude Era gave them. Now, I do differ with you in that I was not a huge fan of that era. I missed. Just wait.
You better give me a good excuse, man. Otherwise, you're off the show.
There's no excuse. I preferred what I considered a purer time in wrestling before the Gold Dust era and all that as well. Back to the days of Macho Man and King Kong Bundy on Saturday night,
Papa Shango, dude. That guy freaked me out.
Stuff like that. I was just more of a purist about it. I mean, I loved the spectacle and everything else, but the Attitude Era, to me, it wasn't just the kind of disrespectful, let's push the envelope over-sexualization of everything, which just seemed ridiculously out of place. Yeah. But every damn match didn't finish. Basically got into this era where there were so many rivalries and so much drama and this and that. Every big match, people jumped in and there was interference and there was this crap. And it just, for a fan of wrestling, it turned me off. It did. But I really believe that with the shorter attention spans now, our YouTube generation, everything else, they gotta have something more than just the traditional. They gotta go back to being a little more edgy or they're not gonna survive.
True. I mean, especially right now. I mean, AEW is kicking their ass right now. AEW is doing a great job with the drama. They brought Sting back to AEW, which is very interesting because allegedly Sting couldn't wrestle anymore. I mean, because he had neck issues and one more match and he'd be paralyzed. So who knows if maybe he got that repaired. But he is back and he's on AEW. They've been showing a lot of hardcore matches. There's been a lot of blood been spilt on AEW, so that's actually bringing them a lot of attention, actually, the way they're doing it. So I don't know. I mean, things have got to change. I'm not even going to ask Lonnie what she thinks because she's not a wrestling fan. We already know that. She's been quiet over there. She's like, please don't ask me. Don't ask. Don't do it. Don't do it again. Don't do it again.
Do you know what my thoughts are now? I'm like, there's like a foot of snow. I'm like, are the deer going to come back again? And will they saunter up the hill? That's where my mind went just now.
Oh my God, it's cracking me up. She's like, the entire time. Oh Lord. Bottom line is the WWE's got to make changes. Otherwise, who knows what's going to be the future of Monday Night Raw. It's not looking too good on the USA Network. And who knows, they might have to go back to TNT or Spike TV again. Who knows? But we'll just have to wait and see and find out. In other sports news, looks like Clippers Jerry West is being sued actually by Johnny Wilkes, and he's the man that was basically that was involved in the alleged role in landing Kawhi Leonard, and basically is saying that Jerry West left him a voicemail in 2019 talking crap about the Lakers organization, and he basically says, quote, this is a quote from Jerry West in the voicemail. It says, quote, I just find it hard to believe that he would want to go to that shit show where he wouldn't even get his name in the paper, and he wouldn't be the face of the franchise, that's for sure. He might be the best player on the team, but hope things are well, and again, I really, really appreciate everything you've done. So, I mean, and this is back in 2019. This came out. It's kind of messed up for Jerry West to be talking so much crap about the Lakers, but I don't know. There's a sense of honesty with that. Simply because the Lakers have a tendency of basically putting more emphasis on their star players, such as LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and so forth. And they've done it in the past with Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. That was their biggest draw. But I mean, there is truth to it. It's not like he's lying. You know, there is truth to it. I mean, in my opinion, there's a little bit of truth to that. I mean, what do you think?
I'll jump in here. There was truth to that. Before Jeannie Buss took over full-time actual basketball operations, the Lakers were a bit of a shit show. When her brother was running the show, the Lakers were a bit of a shit show. So had he made those comments in, say, 2017, I would have been much more understanding about it. But making it in 2019, when Jeannie had already made a lot of the bigger changes that this organization needed, I think it was very inappropriate and quite disrespectful to her. You know, this is a woman who has had to earn her respect in this game, who has been ridiculed and criticized and called, you know, Phil Jackson's arm candy and all this other stuff.
That's what I was going to say. Didn't she and Phil, they had a thing going?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and, you know, I mean, it was all this different stuff. And you're talking about a woman who was raised by one of the greatest owners in the history of sports ownership, you know, Dr. Jerry Buss, who lived the Laker life, who grew up in the building, watching her father. No one was bred for this position more. There isn't a human being on this planet that loves the Lakers more than Jeannie Buss. And she is a smart businesswoman. She is a strong businesswoman. And for him to make that statement is just a slap in the face.
True.
Like I said, had he made it 2 years before, when they really were quite a debacle under her brother, I would have understood it a lot more.
True. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. I mean, and it seems that Jeannie definitely has made it her business to, you know, be, you know, have, you know, her players all be inclusive in press and everything, to make sure that you know, the best players do get press. That's just the way it looks like. I mean, it's not just focused on, you know, on the stars, but we're focused on all the players that have actually done, you know, put in their work into this organization. So
It just shows you, my take on this too, it just shows you, like in sports, we always, you know, I love our show because we talk about sports, but then we talk about the story behind the story. And it just shows you all the cattiness going on behind the scenes, you know, and the jealousy, because there's always something going on behind the scenes, like the backstory of it.
There's always the rivalries. There's always, right? I mean, we all know the Clippers and Lakers have been long time, you know,
well, it's
rivals.
It's the big brother, little brother scenario. You know all about that, Xander.
Of course.
The UCLA.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Of course. And we don't want to bring that up ever.
But I think people need to remember people have a very odd view of the Lakers. They seem to forget that while Magic and Kareem were certainly the face of the franchise, some of the most popular players on that team were Worthy, Cooper, AC Green. They were the role players, and they all got press. They all got, you know, they were all big time stars. They were
the
loved.
dynasty.
They were loved in this town. Well, and given everybody knew Kareem was the captain, Magic was the star, but those guys were featured stars. They were big time in this town and nationally.
Can I add a name? This is to impress you guys. Wasn't Byron Scott another
Absolutely,
one?
Yeah. Another great, great role player on that team. Another just solid piece.
Look at Lonnie bringing it in.
Bringing it up. That was beautiful.
Bringing in that knowledge.
But let's take it a couple years later now. Now we have Shaq and Kobe, again, the duo that is the face of the franchise. But who were some of the most popular players on that team? Robert Horry, Derek Fisher, again, AC Green, who came back and played again for the Lakers at that point, Horace Grant.
Yep.
You know, all these great role players, they were featured, they were stars in their own right, they were acknowledged as huge contributors, they were honored by the fans, and they were national names.
And you got Meta World Peace in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, but again, people have this view that because we do tend to, you know, the Lakers tend to end up with big time guys. People tend to have this view that they're all it's about, and that's never really been the case with our best teams. Never.
It's something that it's growth, in my opinion. It's growth. And I mean, for Jerry West to go ahead and make these comments, yeah, Jeremy, you're right. It's very inappropriate. And he's definitely getting a lot of crap for it. That's for damn sure. Especially since he's getting sued right now. So, I mean, it's going to be... Johnny Wilkes is definitely not happy with that situation.
Not just getting sued, but this could actually be an even bigger problem for him and the Clippers, in that it is illegal to go through an outside source for communications. Third-party communications between players and team management are illegal. So if he actually told this guy to arrange this meeting and help set up this trade or this signing and offered him money to do it, the league has already said they're going to be coming after them hard. They can be fined a very large amount of money.
Jerry West could be fired.
He could be fired. They could lose major draft picks. This is a very big deal if this ends up proven to be true.
And it's always the Clippers too. Like, Clippers have always been involved in like negative press. Like, they can't get a championship, so the only other way to go ahead and get any type of attention is by making stupid things like this. Makes no sense.
I can't explain it.
It makes no sense. It's like, you know, I mean, it's like USC, you know. The only difference is that USC's actually, you know, beat us before, so we won't go there.
Over and over and over. Yes, I know. No, if we're going to talk about US, tell you right now, because you and I have already spoken about this. They were lucky to be 5-0. They've underperformed all year. Something is wrong with Keaton Slovis's arm.
Yeah.
Our quarterback is not throwing spirals. If the ball has to go more than 20 yards down the field, it looks like a dying duck.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with him. His mechanics, something is off. He had a major elbow surgery at the end of last year. Perhaps that's done something. But this is a team that has, again, underperformed all year. They needed 3, not even last 2 minutes. In the last 90 seconds, they needed 3 comeback wins to stay 5-0.
True.
This team very easily could have been 2-3. And the teams they almost lost to were Arizona, Arizona State, and UCLA. 3 very middle of the pack to lower teams. They underperform with the talent level that team has, with the recruiting they do. It is my belief, as I've said many times, it is a coaching issue. While Clay Helton is a wonderful man, his players seem to love him. He focuses on, you know, the schoolwork. He's got the graduation rates up. He's a great coach along those lines. But is he a great game day coach? Well, our players come in unprepared. They commit the most amount of penalties in the entire conference every year he's coached us. It's a problem. It's a very big problem. And then you throw on top of that what was an incredibly unfair situation, and I'm not making excuses for them, but the Trojans played on Sunday because they had their game pushed back against UCLA because of the COVID problem. They didn't play on Saturday, they played on Sunday. Then they have the championship game on Friday, so they're already playing on a very short week. Then on Monday, they go into practice, put their game plan into practice for Washington, and that afternoon they get a call from the Pac-12 saying, "Oh yeah, Washington can't play because of COVID. You're playing Oregon." So now they have to put an entirely new game plan into place with only basically 2.5 days of practice.
True.
It was a very unfair situation. I honestly believe had they been playing Washington, they probably would have pulled out a close game. But again, this team was never as good as they appeared on paper. They were one of the worst 5-0 teams I've ever seen.
It just, you know what though, but this year has just been rough on everybody. You know, it hasn't been the best year in sports at all. Excuse me, it hasn't been the best year in sports at all due to the current crisis. They've had to go ahead and reschedule, do so many reschedules. It's been so chaotic. It's been so chaotic this year. I mean, take for example, let's go back to the NBA. They just won their championship and now the NBA season already started. Like within weeks of them already ending the season. I mean, it's just, this year is just so wacky, so out of whack for so many sports. And we'll see what happens next year. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that, the current crisis is an excuse to bad performance, but it definitely has a lot to do with it, in my opinion. I mean, am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, we talked about this before the season started, that, without the usual amount of practice, without full spring camps, without all of that stuff, people were going to be rusty. People's games were not going to see the same progression from year to year that we usually see. And then on top of that, as you said, we've had rescheduling after rescheduling. We've had lineups constantly being changed because players are out for COVID protocol. Entire position groups in both pro and college football are being juggled on a daily basis. And this is a game where you need continuity. You can plug one person in here or there, but when 3 out of your 4 or 5 offensive linemen are out and you're rotating in an entirely new offensive line, is it any wonder your quarterback got sacked 6 times?
Yeah.
Right.
This throws a lot of things, a lot of monkey wrenches into the gear.
Yep.
It's true. So we'll go ahead and see. Hopefully next year things will start getting somewhat back to normal. And if they do, we might see some changes. Who knows? This might actually be a good learning experience for a lot of these teams to possibly even make some changes themselves and maybe even take some more, I would have to say, look towards the future and put in place some new type of training strategies, to possibly avoid another year like this one.
Well, I would also say financially, perhaps they should be looking forward a little more, because I understand stadiums need upkeep, all these different things. But in the race to be constantly the most technologically advanced, I mean, teams are dropping, millions of dollars on a new scoreboard. Okay, it shows the score. Okay, maybe keep that $100 million to have your custom-made thing. How about you keep that in a reserve fund, so if something like this happens, you can actually pay your people, and you don't have to start laying off all your stadium workers and all these people who've been so loyal to you for so long.
Wait a second.
Right.
Are you telling me that scoreboards actually give scores?
Yeah, amazing, isn't it?
Wow, what a concept.
There was a time when a man sat in the scoreboard and put little signs up to show you the score. And guess what? The fans still knew the score.
Stop it. Come on. You're lying. I refuse to believe it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's what a concept.
I mean, it's things like that kind of infuriate me. You have these teams that are making tons of money. And like I said, I understand reinvesting in your business to keep it growing. Every business has to do that. But when you're making this kind of money, to turn around and literally say, oh crap, we have nothing. All of you who've worked for this for the last 20 years have no job and no benefits anymore and no nothing. That's kind of a problem for me.
Yeah, I can tell. Just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with you. I gotta agree with you in all those aspects. They really need to start looking towards the future financially. practicality is another one that they need to start looking at more. I mean, it's one of those things where this entire year has been pretty much of a, I would have to say, a model for what not to do, or for what to avoid, or for what to improve on if, God forbid, another situation like this were to arise again in the future. So it's definitely been a learning experience for the entire world, to be honest, this entire year. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of protocols they decide to start implementing for possible future issues like this. Again, God forbid that this happens again, but if it does, hopefully they'll be more prepared for it next time. Coming up next, we continue our top 10 countdown of most listened to podcast episodes for the 100 episodes. We're still at 100 episodes as of today, folks. And the one that's coming up next actually is coming in at number 4 is episode 76 with your friend, Jeremy, Mr. Sean Kanan actually made number 4 on that list.
Love Sean.
Oh no, he's a great guy. We're actually going to be having him again starting in January. We're going to be inviting him to come through again. He's got a couple things he wants to talk about. So
he's always working on something, man.
Oh, he totally is. He's got another really cool project that he's working on that he wants to go ahead and chat about. And we'll have him on here. And Jeremy, you get to talk to him, man. You get to chat with him a little bit. So that should be
awesome sauce.
That's his pal right here, Lonnie. That's his friend right here.
Awesome sauce.
And I actually met Sean through Jeremy. Nicest guy in the world. I mean, you think from the Karate Kid 3, he'd be like intimidating, he'd be like a jerk or anything like that. Total opposite of his character. Nicest guy I've ever met. Very, very intelligent, incredibly intelligent, very well spoken. And again, this interview made the top 10. It's at number 4. This portion of the interview, he talks a little bit about his vice in binge watching documentaries about psychos and stuff like that on streaming platforms. So definitely check out that interview coming up next, right here on the Xander Effect.
The Xander Effect Top 10 Podcasts of this year. You dig? Show number 4.
I like to watch the things in prison too. I think we like to watch things that we think are, a world that we hopefully will never be in, with which we'll never be involved. So that's why I think it's interesting to watch, these, the prison shows. I mean, look, I'm not alone, obviously, because they're making documentaries by the dozens, and there's, documentary shows, and there's cops and all this stuff. It's interesting.
No, and you're right, man, because I actually watch on Netflix from time to time is World's Most Dangerous Prisons. That show got me.
Everyone.
Yeah, that show got me, man.
I liked it better when they changed the host. They had one host, and they got the guy that was actually in prison for 12 years.
Yeah.
No, I love that show.
No, that show's insane. Like I saw some of the episodes. I actually still have to finish watching the rest of them, but yeah, that one and Scared Straight is another one that kind of gets me too.
Yeah. I like Locked Up Abroad. I like that one.
I haven't seen that one. I gotta check that one out.
Oh my god! So Locked Up Abroad is just basically like people that have smuggled stuff or gotten kidnapped or whatever, and they find themselves locked up in a foreign prison. And it's crazy. And I have a really dear friend who wound up being put on death row in Pakistan.
Oh my god!
And he was a 23-year-old kid. Long story short. Anyway, Nat Geo did a Locked Up Abroad about him. He played himself.
Oh my god!
And
did he survive? Did he survive the death row?
They told him, they said, if you admit you're guilty, we'll let you out. He said, fuck you. And he said, I'm not admitting it. He basically had been smuggling leather for a guy. And then 9/11 happened, and they asked him to go to Pakistan. He was like, look, I don't think I want to do this. They're like, it'll be fine. So you're just making leather over there. This is a guy, mind you, just to preface this, he has never drank alcohol and never done drugs. So he gets over there, and it turns out, unbeknownst to him, hidden in his suitcase is opium. So they give him the death penalty because he's an American. And he he winds up, and he's into all sorts of terrible terrorists and this and that. But this guy's a bruiser, man. And you know, in the Pakistani jail, they're kind of little guys.
Yeah.
Like 3 little guys will kick your ass. But he was like just kicking ass and was tortured. Anyway, long story short, he learns Urdu, which is the Pakistani language. He winds up, his mother's a casting director, and he speaks to a senator, they intercede, he winds up getting out. So he winds up catfishing this dude that Santa, pretending that he was a female, and he gets the guy to like meet him at Denny's under the pretense that the girl is going to meet him, and he sees him in the parking lot and just beats the living shit out of him, as he should have.
Show number 3.
Is that Jeremy's actually a former actor. He was on a very incredibly popular show back in the 80s called Growing Pains. He played the little brother Ben Seaver on the show. He also did the voice of Linus in the Peanuts gang. And before, Jeremy, I had you on the show to talk about sports. This time, I actually have you on the show because I want to talk about you, about Jeremy Miller, the actor, and everything you've done. You know, we've had interviews in the past before, but never on the Xander Effect. This is the first time that you come on the show to actually be interviewed as an actor, and I got to tell you, it's one of the lowest points of my life, but I'll take it.
It's rather underwhelming, isn't it?
No, absolutely not, man. Guys, I got to tell you, Jeremy is not only one of my best friends, he's like a brother to me, he's like family, and one of the greatest guys that you'll ever meet. So definitely, if you ever see him on the street, you know, go ahead and tackle him for an autograph because he's really cool like that. But
thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
You know, but aside from that, I got to tell you, Jeremy, you know, your experience in Growing Pains was incredible. I mean, you were there since what? You were 8 years old, something like that?
Yeah, we filmed for 7 years, so it was 8 years old to 15. So at that point, it was quite literally half my life.
Well, I gotta ask you before we get into that. Before we get into how you got started there, and this might be a brief description of how you got into acting to begin with, because I mean, at 8 years old, there's not much that you had before, you know, acting. You kind of started at a very young age. But how did you get started into acting? How did you get involved in that?
Well, actually, let me correct you there. I did start well before that. I actually started at 5.
Oh, okay.
That's when I began. It was really kind of random. My mom put me in singing classes, and I always loved to sing as a kid. And there was this little place out where we lived, or near where we lived, called Mickey Rooney's Talent Town. And Mickey Rooney had set up these little talent studios for kids to be able to go and learn dance and singing and acting and pretty much any sort of entertainment, you know, art that they wanted. And even got to meet Mickey a couple times before he passed. It was really, really awesome.
Nice.
And you know, one of the teachers there, one of the voice teachers whose kids were already auditioning and were doing, you know, a lot of voice work, just kind of mentioned to my mom, she was like, have you ever thought about putting this kid on TV? He never shuts up. He's kind of got the personality for it. So and,
nice.
You know, Mom had never thought about it. There was nobody in my family that we knew of at the time that was ever in the entertainment business.
Show number 2.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Xander Effect. I'm your host, Xander Dames. It is Saturday, March 2nd, 2019, and here are some headlines in case you haven't heard them. Well, the Jordan Woods, Tristan Thompson, Khloe Kardashian feud has come to a rest because after yesterday's Red Table Talk, Jordan pretty much poured her heart out and saying that she was pretty much in the wrong place, wrong time type of situation where she shouldn't have been. And to be honest with you, she's young, she's got a lot to learn about life, and this is one of the harsh realities and one of the harsh lessons that she had to learn. Khloe at the time tweeted saying that she was lying and that she was a homewrecker for what she did. But what a difference a day makes, because looks like Khloe is now shifting the blame over to Tristan. and basically saying that it wasn't Jordan's fault, it's actually Tristan's fault, which is funny because earlier today I had seen a post on Instagram with Jordan's name and a heart at the end of it, and many people supporting her for being young and naive. But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what, could it be that maybe Chloe is seeking to blame somebody? She's seeking to blame somebody because of her own naivety for accepting Tristan back into her home. And I believe she did it probably because they have a kid. More than likely it was because they have a kid, or she genuinely also loves him as well.
Hey guys, this is Sean Kanan. You might remember me as Mike Barnes from the Karate Kid 3. If you don't, I don't care. That means your karate's a joke. Anyway, I just want to congratulate the Xander Effect on its 100th episode. Outstanding. Congratulations, guys.
Let's get crazy. Happy 100th episode. From mental health therapist Raquel Buchanan.
Secrets in this life that I can't hide. Well, somewhere in this
yo, it's your favorite gangster, Dude Brown, checking in with my brother, Big Xander. You already know I'm repping that 305, that MIA, yo, that Dade County, all the way on the West Coast. Let's get it, my brother. We dumb lit.
Look, I was going to go easy on you, not to hurt your feelings, but I'm only going to get this one chance. Something's wrong. I can feel it. It's just a feeling I've got. Like something's about to happen, but I don't know what. If that means what I think it means, we're in trouble. Big trouble. And if he is bananas, as you say, I'm not taking any chances.
You just want the dark order. I'm beginning to feel like a rap god. All my people from the front to the back nod. Now who thinks their arms are long enough to slap box? They said I rap like a robot, so call me rap. But for me to rap like a computer must be in my jeans. I got a laptop in my back pocket, my pinnacle walk when I hat cock it. Got a fat nap from that rap profit, made a living and a killing off it. Ever since Bill Clinton was still in office, with Monica Lewinsky filling on his sack. I'm an MC, still as honest, but as rude and as indecent as all hell. Syllables, killaholic, kill 'em all. This flibbity, gibbity, hibbity, hip hop. You don't really want to get into a piss and match with this rappity rap hack and a Mac in the back of the yak backpack rap yap kitty yak nap. The exact same time I attempt these lyrical acrobat stunts while I'm practicing that, I'll still be able to break them off the table over the back of a couple of thick ass to crack it in half. Only realized it was ironic. I was under aftermath after the fact. How could I not blow? All I do is drop F-bombs. Feel my wrath of attack. Rappers are having a rough time period. Here's a maxi pad. It's actually disastrously bad for the whack while I'm masterfully constructing this masterpiece. I'm beginning to feel like a rap god. All my people from the front to the back nod. Now who thinks their arms are long enough to slap box? Let me show you maintaining this shit ain't that hard. Everybody want the key and the secret to rap immortality like I have got. Will there be truth for the blueprints? Simply rage and youthful exuberance. Everybody loves the root for a nuisance. Hit the earth like an asteroid, did nothing but shoot for the moon since. MCs get taken to school with this music cause I use it as a vehicle to bust the rhyme. Now I lead a new school full of students. Me, I'm a product of rock him, lock him, Shabazz, Tupac in W-A-Q, hey Doc, Rin, yellow easy, thank you, they got slim. Inspired enough to one day grow up, blow up and be in a position to meet Run DMC and induct them into the motherfucking rockin' Roll Hall of Fame. Even though I walk in the church in person, a ball of flames. Only Hall of Fame I'll be inducted in is the Alcohol of Fame on the wall of shame. You think it's all a game till I walk a flock of flames. Off a planking, tell me what in the f*** are you thinking? Little green looking boy, so gay I can barely say it with a straight face looking boy. You witnessing a massacre like you're watching a church gathering take place looking boy. Boy, they that boys gay, that's all they say looking boy. You get a thumbs up, pat on the back and a way to go from your label every day looking boy. Hey looking boy, what you say looking boy? I get a hell yeah from Trey looking boy. I'ma work for everything I have, never ask nobody for get out my face looking boy. Basically boy, you're never gonna be capable of keeping up with the same pace looking boy, cause I'm beginning to feel like a rap god. All my people from the front to the back nod. The way I'm racing around the track, call me NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt of the trailer park, the white trash god. Kneel before General Zod, this planet's Krypton. No Asgard. So you be Thor and I'll be Odin. You rodent, I'm omnipotent. Let off, then I'm reloading. Immediately with these bombs I'm toting. And I should not be woken. I'm the walking dead, but I'm just a talking head, a zombie floating. But I got your mom deep. I'm out my ramen noodle. We have nothing in common, poodle. I'm a Doberman. Pinch yourself in the arm and pay homage, pupil. It's me. My honesty's brutal, but it's honestly futile if I don't utilize what I do, though, for good at least once in a while. So I wanna make sure somewhere in the chicken scratch I scribble and doodle enough rhymes to maybe try to help get some people through tough times. But I gotta keep a few punchlines just in case, cause even you unsigned rappers are hungry, looking at me like it's lunchtime. I know there was a time where once I was king of the underground, but I still rap like I'm on my Pharaoh Munch grind. So I crunch rhymes, but sometimes when you combine up here with the skin color of mine, you get too big and here it comes trying to censor you like that one line I said. Oh no, back from the Mathers LP1 when I tried to sell take 7 kids from Columbine. Put them all in a line at an egg, it'll get in the over and unlined. See if I get away with it now that I ain't as big as I was, but I'm morphing into an immortal coming through the portal. You're stuck in a time warp from 2004 and I don't know what the fuck that you line for. You're pointless as Rapunzel with fucking cornrows. You like normal, being normal. And I just bought a new ray gun from the future just to come and shoot you like when Fabulous made Ray J mad. Cause Fab said he looked like a fag and they were his pad singing to a man while he played piano. Man, oh man, that was a 24/7 special on the cable channel. So Ray J went straight to the radio station the very next day. Hey Fab, I'ma kill you. Lyrics coming
at you with supersonic speed. Summon, I'm a doom, I'm a you assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, and I made a rubber so that anything you say is shaking off of me and it'll glue to you and devastating. More than ever demonstrating how to give a microphone for the audience. I feel like it's levitating, never fading, and I know the haters are forever waiting for the day that they can say I fell off to be celebrating. Cause I know the way to get it motivated. I make elevating music, you make elevator music. Oh, he's too mainstream. Well, that's what they do when they get jealous, they confuse it. It's not hip-hop, it's pop. Cause I found a hella way to fuse it. With rock, shock rap, with dot. Don't lose yourself, I make them lose it. I don't know how to make songs like that. I don't know what words to use. Let me know when it occurs to you while I'm ripping any one of these verses. The verses you, it's curtains, I'm inadvertently hurting you. How many verses I gotta murder to prove that if you were half as nice as songs you could sacrifice virgins to? School flunky, pill junkie, but look at the accolades, these skills brung me. Full of myself, but still hungry. I bully myself cause I make me do what I put my mind to when I'm a million leagues above you. Ill when I speak in tongues, but it's still tongue-in-cheek. Off you, I'm drunk, so Satan take the fucking wheel. I'm all sleep in the front, so bumping heavy D in the voice. Still chunky but funky, but in my head there's something I can feel tugging and struggling. Angels fight with devils and here's what they want from me. They're asking me to eliminate some of the women hate, but if you take into consideration the bitter hatred I have, then you may be a little patient and more sympathetic to the situation and understand the discrimination. But life's handing you lemons, make lemonade then. But if I can't battle the women, how the fuck am I supposed to bake them a cake then? No mistake, it's a fatal mistake if you think I need to be overseas and take a vacation to trip abroad and make a fall on a face. And don't be a retard, be a king? Think not. Why be a king when you can be a god?
Yo, what's happening? It's your favorite gangster, Dude Brown.
Hey guys, this is Ian Guerin.
Hey, this is Annalise Hoveda.
Hey yo, this is Nightmare from Dirty Machine.
Hi, this is Cambry Loveseat.
Hey, this is Dovely.
And you're listening.
And you're listening.
And you're listening.
And you're listening.
And you're listening to the Xander Effect.
Since the last time we went to the mall in between class, I remember it all perfectly cause I tried to kiss ya. Yeah, right, I was in to see me with ya. Oh, but it suddenly ended. I went cold and you took some distance. My emotions just went up and down in a whirlwind. Anxiety, tears, broken dreams, and obsession. How I like you and see you and love hasn't changed, but the one thing that's it isn't ready for you. I've become the man you want. I don't need nobody to tell me what to do, to tell me what to say. I don't need nobody to make me feel secure, to build myself for you, baby. Baby, you got it, cause you've been hurt, I understand it. Been reckless about you or what you decided. I've tamed my demons best way I can. I work my head so that it won't flounder. Back to the dark place, back to the scar, get constantly hounded. My rejection and inferiority. I ask myself to remain calm. You're capable, you're wonderful, you like who you become. Don't blow it, don't blow it. She needs a man who's strong. I remind myself that I don't need nobody to tell me what to do, to tell me what to say. I don't need nobody to make me feel secure, to build myself for you, baby. Baby, you got it, cause you've been hurt, I understand it. Been reckless about you or what you decided. He was a pain in your book. We need to be afraid this time. I'm here, I'm willing, I'm able. We don't really need to mess around. We're both jacked out of the same boat. The chance is like for us to ride. Grab a pen on my hand, I'm scared to. But for you, I'll take the chance. We don't
That was Ian Guerin's Chapter 2 right here on the Xander Effect. And before we move on to video game news, again, wanted to thank all the guests that have come on here and gave us congratulations on the 100 episodes. I want to thank each and every single one of you for sending those congrats to us. And I'm looking forward to having many of you back on the Xander Effect this coming 2021. So again, thanks to all of you who sent in those thanks. Major thanks to all of you. Major love to all of you from all of us here at the Xander Effect. In video game news, looks like Cyberpunk is gone from the PlayStation Store for the time being, and it had a lot to do with technical issues involving both physical and digital copies of the game. Cyberpunk went ahead and posted a statement for all PlayStation users on Twitter, and it reads, quote, "Following our discussion with PlayStation, a decision was made to temporarily suspend digital distribution of Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation Store. You can still buy physical versions of the game in brick and mortar stores and online. All purchased digital and physical copies of the game will continue to receive support and updates as we continue to improve your experience. According to our knowledge, starting today, everyone who is not willing to wait for updates and wants to refund their digital copy of the game can do so by submitting a request at www.playstation.com/2077-refunds/. We are working hard to bring Cyberpunk 2077 back to the PlayStation Store as soon as possible." So it looks like they're offering refunds. Not a good start. I mean, Cyberpunk was already having issues with continuously changing their release date, and now it looks like we can see why. It's been having issues. The game itself, I started playing. Here's my review on it. To be honest, I would have to give it a 5 out of 10 rating right now. The game is very complex. It's very the storyline drags a little bit. It kind of reminds me of Metal Gear Solid. The game came out last year. The story was just so long, and it was like, oh my god, this doesn't end. There's a lot of dialogue in it. The best way I could describe it, it's a mix between Batman, because it's a WB game. It's a mix between Batman. It's a mix between Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone, and it's a mix between Hitman. It's got a bunch of different mixes in there and of course, it's a mix between Grand Theft Auto as well because of the maps and everything. But the reason I'm saying that is because, take for example, weapons. You grab a weapon from a random player or from a random person that you just killed or whatever. You take the weapon, you have to upgrade the weapon. And that's a little bit confusing because you're so focused on upgrading your own persona, because you have upgrades for your own character as well, with upgraded visuals, upgraded strengths, by the way, it's also a mix between Assassin's Creed as well, where you have to upgrade your assassin's abilities and stuff like that. They also have that on this too. There's just so much that they crammed into this game, and they didn't make it simple at all. They make it very complex, in my opinion, and it's just too much for one player to go ahead and play, so much to the point where it's like, oh my god, there's a lot to do, and it's just a lot. It's just too much, in my opinion. So for me, it gets a 5 out of 5, maybe a 5.5 out of 5, because it's still a pretty entertaining game. I'm not gonna take away that, but it's just too much to do, to be honest. I mean, it's a tough one, Jeremy. It's really a tough one. You're gonna play it and you're gonna be like, why am I playing this?
Well, like I said, I haven't played it yet. It's disappointing to hear. And before I get up on my soapbox, let's address the gameplay stuff. It sounds to me, and like I said, I haven't played it, but from what you're describing, it sounds to me like they didn't know which way they wanted to go, what direction they wanted to go with the game, and they just kept trying to fit more and more in. And that's not usually a good thing, you know. Games are trying to capture so much realism now that they take away a lot of the immersion and escapism of the story and the world you're trying to involve yourself in. So from a story point and everything else, that kind of sucks. That definitely disappoints me, given how long we waited for this game. Now, that leading into me getting up on my soapbox, here we are again. Years and years of delays on this game, and they still release it all bugged out.
Yeah. True.
Okay, you are a company that has how much money, and you can't release a game that works. Instead, you take your customers' money. Now, given thankfully they're at least giving money back this time, but you're taking your customers' money for a product that you know is defective.
Yep.
That is a major problem. You know me. This is the thing I preach about all the time when we talk about this. Yep. It absolutely infuriates me that they release these broken games. True. You've had years of the top devs working on this. How do you not have it right?
How do you screw it up?
How do you screw it up when you literally took 4 or 5 years longer than you were supposed to?
Yeah.
How could you not get it right in that amount of time?
Yeah.
And seriously, it seems like they're all afraid of paring back. It's like, why is it not okay to say, oh shit, this isn't working, maybe we'll have to take this out?
True. It's so hurtful to watch. It's so painful. I'm not even gonna joke. Like, I've heard so many things about this game. I was looking forward to it since last year, and now that I play it, I'm like, why did I just spend $60 on this game? Why? Like, this game is it's just too much. It's too much. I mean, it's like, I already have a lot of other games that I'm playing right now. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which had just finished the storyline, but there's still so much to do on that map. You know, Grand Theft Auto just came out with the Cayo Perico heist, which, by the way, freaking awesome heist. Really, really cool. Want to give a quick review on that one. You get a submarine that you own. You can actually move the submarine anywhere you want. You could drive the submarine. And one of my buddies actually beached the submarine. The thing is ginormous. The thing is like, it's huge. And it's just so like, oh my God, it's such a cool little game that they put in there. They added another submarine vehicle. The submarine itself has two vehicle spaces. One for your it's called the Kraken. It's a mini sub within the big submarine that you could actually take out. They also have a car space for your car submarine, the vehicle that turns into a submarine. And they have a helicopter inside there too. They have a helicopter bay as well that pretty much you could it's got a really cool little cutscene where you get into the helicopter, and if your submarine is on top, on the surface, you could actually bring the helicopter out. It raises the helicopter out, so you could drive it. It's a really cool little that one. Actually, I gotta give it to Rockstar. They did a really cool job with that new heist. I gotta give it about an 8 out of 10 on that one, because there's still other things in that heist that kind of confused people, that weren't really explained. When I first did the heist, there was a point where we were trying to get into this big this big, I guess, complex or whatever, compound, actually, I should say, this big compound to go ahead and steal documents. And you also get to go ahead and steal gold, cash, artwork, a bunch of drugs. Like, you get to steal a bunch of stuff. But when we got there, we couldn't get in. We were trying to figure out so many ways to get in. We're like, okay, we can't get in here. We can't get in here. What's going on? It turns out that we all had to be grouped together in order to be able to enter the compound to begin with. And it took us a while to figure that out. So we finally figured it out. I was like, well, maybe we have to go back to the airfield and cut power or something like that. Maybe that's it. So one of us went back to the airfield, all the way back, had to come all the way back down again. It was painful. Like, it wasn't explained on how to get in there. We had to figure it out for ourselves. So that was kind of a pain in the ass.
Some challenge.
Yeah, it was still kind of a pain in the ass though, because I'm like, dude, how do we get into this freaking place? You know, we were all like, what the hell? So you live, you learn, you figure it out, and it was a really cool little Cayo Perico heist. I got to give it up to Rockstar. You did a great job with that. Really entertaining to go ahead and play that. And the submarines. If you're in a public lobby, you could actually sink each other's submarines. You could actually have a submarine war, and it's got torpedoes. It's got aerial assaults. It even has a guided missile that you guide yourself. When you let it go, you can actually the missile could travel all over the city. And if there's like a player that you don't like or that's been bugging you, you can actually guide the missile towards that player and kill him. It's actually really fun. Or you can mess with your friends, and if they're flying around in a helicopter, you can just go ahead and guide the missile to them and just mess up their plans. It's, again, a really fun little thing that they got going on for that submarine. A lot of fun things to do with that submarine. So
you're a sick individual.
I am.
This whole submarine thing just reminds me of like childhood stuff. We're seeing like my brothers play with this kind of stuff, guys. Sorry.
Wow, Lonnie, that hurts my feelings a little bit. Child over here. You know what? I'm a kid at heart, okay? I don't care.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that, like, my mind, again, you want to know where my mind went this last time?
I love hearing Lonnie's mind. It's great.
Okay, so we've got this snow, and back in the day, I'm like in the neighborhood where, as a kid, I had the most awesome sleigh than anyone. So I was just thinking, because there's this hill, because Pittsburgh is really hilly, that we named as kids 007.
Nice.
Because it's just the because of you go down, it's like three humps, on the hillside. So I was thinking the other day, I was like, dang, it would be really cool to get a sleigh. My cousin's like, you're crazy. We're not kids. We'll hurt ourselves. And I was like, but I want to get on one. Let's go buy one and go ride down these hills. So that's what I was thinking of.
Very nice, Lonnie. Very nice. Thank you for that. We sound all small over here. Come on. Anyways, but yeah, that's basically what's going on for Lonnie's mind and for GTA 5. Definitely go check out that new update, the Cayo Perico heist. And if you want, go ahead and check out Cyberpunk at your own risk. That's up to you. Again, not the best rating for that one. But coming up next is our number one episode of the top 10 100 most listened to episodes of the Xander Effect. This one is actually episode 38, and this is an interview that I had with two incredible artists, both in music and actual art. They combined the two together. This interview was with Ativa Mile and with Ali Yo. Both are very talented individuals, musically, artistically, incredible interview. That's coming up next right here on the Xander Effect.
The Xander Effect Top 10 Podcasts of this year. You dig? Show number one.
Let's talk about the collaboration that both of you have going on right now. You're mixing art with music.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to let Allison share a little bit about that.
All right, let's go ahead. Let us know what this collaboration is all about.
Actually, it started with Tivamile. She is a Christian contemporary pop artist, and then we want to share on the concert, and then we want to make it more interesting. At first, it was really spontaneous. It was a great experience, and then I just have the idea, how about let's start it with abstract art like acrylic, and we do splash, and then somehow audiences, they really like it. And because in Europe, it has been many years that people would do like live painting there. Mm-hmm. And also in, I think in also Christian music, people trying to do the so-called prophetic art. Mm-hmm. So we try to apply that also in our concert. Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much you're combining the two, and I've heard of these types of combinations before. Like in the turn of the century, they were doing these types of collaborations where an artist would paint and another person would either be playing music, an instrument, or something in the background while they were painting and creating a masterpiece. So you are both trying to go ahead and bring something like that back to the audience.
We're definitely bringing it back to the audience. And something we've realized with the Taiwanese audiences, they're creative people. Mm-hmm. There's people that are into art in different ways. So for us to bring live music, live painting, we're building a bigger audience, but also we're just expressing their creativity that's already there. Mm-hmm. And just showing people that you can do that. You can do, it doesn't have to be one or the other. And like Allison said, it's so spontaneous that every day there's different music going on and the message is different. So at the end, to have a work of art that expresses what was going on during that time just brings a great surprise to it all. Yeah.
The Xander Effect. Top 10 podcasts of this year. You dig?
Hello world, Tivamile over here. Just want to take the opportunity to thank everyone for being supportive and listening to the Xander Effect episodes. It's so awesome that we have reached 100 interviews, 100 episodes. And guess what? You made us the #1 most listened interview. So we thank you so much for taking the time to listen to the Xander Effect. And it's so cool because when we decided to release live music, live painting concerts, we just want people to be comforted and have hope, especially during the pandemic, of who they are, why they were created, and just to go back to the origin. So it's so cool that it brought this impact. Speaking of that, this end of the year, actually, we are doing our biggest concert in Taiwan. It's going to be also live painting, live music, and tickets are all sold out. But the good news, we can also do live streaming. So if you want to know more about it, please go to Tivamile Official, or you can go on my Facebook, Tivamile, to know more information about how to listen to the live stream concert. December 27th, 2020. From 7:30 to 9 p.m. And guys, if you want to know where to watch the live stream of Back to the Origin concert, just go to the Acupass link on my Instagram, Tivamile Official, or on Facebook, Tivamile. Hope to see you over there. Thanks again. Be super blessed.
Congratulations, Tivamile and Alio, for being the #1 most listened to episode of the Xander Effect. 100 episodes, folks. I also wanted to give my friend Angela Chernega Chorney happy belated birthday. I hope you had a wonderful birthday. That's the news. In case you haven't heard it, thank you again so much for allowing us to get to 100 episodes again. Couldn't have been possible without so many people's support, so many of you out there listening to us. Thank you so much. Wanted to also give a major shout out to Twizm Whyte Piece for his help in also getting some awesome sounds here for us and creating the top 10 drops for all of us here to enjoy. Thank you so much, Twizm Whyte Piece, for that and for your awesome music. Keep it coming, brother. Wanted to go ahead and also thank my co-host, Mr. Jeremy Miller. Jeremy, thanks again for joining us here and for being a part of this 100 episode.
Absolutely, brother. Here's to another 100.
Yeah.
Here's hoping. And as well to you, Miss Lonnie Rivera, thank you so much for also being a part of this 100 episode. Couldn't have done it either.
It is indeed an honor and pleasure to join my two favorite fellas to do this 100th episode. Woohoo!
Nice. right. And I wanted to go ahead and also, wish both of you and everyone else out there happy holidays, happy, ending of 2020, many blessings for 2021. This is the winter season finale of the Xander Effect. I wish all of you, again, happy holidays, happy new year. Hopefully all of you spend it well. Hopefully all of you spend it safely.
Right.
I mean, it's a tough time right now for all of us, but the spirit of the holiday season is in fact there. And I just, I wish everybody, happy holidays. Hopefully all of you will remain safe. Remember, there is a pandemic. Numbers are spiking, unfortunately. Please be safe. Please be around for your loved ones next year, to make sure that you partake in the holiday season again next year with your loved ones. Remember that this is we're still in this together. Wear your masks, wear your gloves if you got them, goggles if you got them. Please be safe. Practice basic hygiene, practice it all. We leave you now, the Xander Effect 100th episode with Bing Crosby's White Christmas. Again, happy holidays. And remember, music always heals all. We'll see you next year, 2021.
Of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and
The Xander Effect is powered by 50/50 Global Music Inc., Sony Music The Orchard, and Bertelsmann, in association with Art 19 Media.